We are recording, and I am Omar Krieg, Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and I welcome you back to my domain. I don't know why I
Hey,
said
hi,
it like
how
that.
are you?
I don't know why I said it like that, to be honest with you. I'm trying something different. I don't know.
Oh,
This
all
is.
hail Lord Krieg.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. Yes, yes, you peasants. This is Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40,000, Rogue Trader. Tithes of Acheron, episode. Nope, I skipped a step. Segmentum third, the Orks of Videmar, episode 11. That is a really, 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 really long title. Surprised it only took me 3 times to get through that. I feel like I needed a few more. I am
Every time
joined.
you
What? Stop talking over me. It's my turn to talk.
no,
I am the Lord here. Uh, I am joined by the ever vocal Rev Everett,
yo,
the ever sleepy Darius, the ever mostly invisible, sometimes witty Alterios, and of
Yeah.
course, just the ever present Warner.
I would
I,
also accept irascible.
I was gonna say effervescent.
Ooh, I
you know,
like that one too.
all of those I feel like are definitely valid. Let's take a moment though to check in with people because it has been a few weeks. I think one week I skipped because I was like, nope, I'm done. I am exact and completely exhausted from work, and I didn't get home until about the time we would have started streaming. And then subsequent weeks, one or more of the players were just not available for one reason or another. Sometimes last minute. Uh, Thank you, Warner's wife. No, I'm joking when I say that. That might have been a little rude. I apologize.
She will never know.
She will. Well, that's a shame because that means she's not a viewer. And why is your wife not a viewer?
Because she is watching the kids rather than watching the stream.
I'm on YouTube. She just watch it during. I don't know. Listen, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna say it.
mom and the kids could just pull up and watch Daddy play a
Yeah,
tabletop game.
that'll be a family moment. That'd be a great family moment, right?
I don't,
Right
I
up there
don't
with
know
movie
if
night.
I
Right
don't
up there
know
with.
if this
Good.
group is family friendly.
We are
I,
not
I was
family
I was I
friendly.
was gonna I was actually gonna say I don't know if Warner actually wants to expose his kids to me in any form or fashion.
I was worried about me, but then you brought yourself up, and I'm like, no, actually, that's a bigger threat. Yeah, yeah. At any rate, let's check in with everybody, see what's new and exciting for them. It's been a couple of weeks for everybody except Darius, who's a regular member and one or more other shows as well. Starting with Rev. Rev, what is new and exciting for you? And I'm totally not playing on my cell phone right
Well, I don't really have I need to don't have the ad read ready like I thought I would.
now. Damn it.
'Cause
Fired.
right, right. But it has been a bit of a busy week, and the only thing really it's not really new for me as I keep having this sinus drainage nausea. But tonight it is exacerbated by the fact that I have a brand new prescription that my eyes are still adapting to. So I have um, slightly woozy vision mixed with nausea,
All
and
right.
it's a fun time.
It sounds like a fun time. Also, this is a moment I think where, maybe it's a good thing you don't have a camera.
Well, I mean, you get to look at me cross-eyed. What was
That's
that?
normal. This is something more than normal.
All right. Well, what is it? Trailer Park Boys or something where the guy has the big giant
Bubbles.
glasses and is cross-eyed?
Yeah, Bubbles. He also likes
Oh, yeah.
cats. Also,
So-
apparently, Bubbles is somewhere on a sex offender
Yep.
registry now.
Just got arrested from what I
Yeah,
heard.
like just in the last
Yikes.
week or two. Yeah, it was one of those nights. I was playing Star Citizen, and I had like a 5 minute wait to get from one side of the solar system to the other. So I'm bumping through like threads or something. Maybe it was Facebook. And all of a sudden I saw, I don't know the actor's name, so I'm just going to call him Bubbles. But it's like, all of a sudden, such and such, such and such from Trailer Park Boys, arrested for something. I don't remember what the specific charge was. I was like, really? Really? Man,
I thought it was like,
you can't have nice things anymore.
well, also kind of not to judge a book by its cover, but if he was in a lineup of people you expected of touching children,
I can see why that statement might be made by some. He does have that creepy man look. But I always thought of the character. I don't know what the actor himself actually looks like. Also, no longer relevant because he is now on a let's just call it a no-fly list.
speaking of actors and such as that, a John Redcorn's murderer just got charged.
Oh,
Or the the guy who voiced John Redcorn was shot by his neighbor.
Is that
Some
the
people are.
voice actor from King of the Hill?
Yes.
Yep.
I was wondering why that name sounded familiar. I was literally, I don't
That's
know.
not his. That's not his real name. Forgive me. I'm horrible with.
No,
real
it's
names.
fine. I was like, I know that name. That sounds familiar. I should know this story. And like, the little mental Rolodex was fucking spinning. I just couldn't figure it out. And then finally it clicked into place. And that's the second time today I've used the term mental Rolodex. At any
Man.
rate.
Kudos to anybody who knows what a Rolodex is. Welcome to the
really,
old club.
Okay, well, Darius and I are about the same age, actually, so it's not
Look,
surprising that we know that.
I'm slowly sliding my Rolodex away. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
he's trying to hide it. He's trying to hide it.
I am an elder millennial, so while I have never used a Rolodex,
You know
I am
what it
aware
is,
of what
yeah.
they are.
I have never used one either, but I do. Actually, no, I take that back. As a child, I had a couple of cards for my friends' phone numbers.
Well,
Yeah.
there was
I
often
was gonna
times
say-
that my parents would ask me to fetch a number off of the Rolodex for them, and that is
Yeah.
my extent of using one.
Yeah. My grandfather kept one
Uh.
right next to his phone that, by the time I became an adult, had extra large buttons.
My parents just kept plain old phone books, so we never used Rolodexes, but I have seen them in
Museums.
church offices.
Yeah, you'll definitely see them like in older movies. If it's any sort of like a scene where it's like salesman, New York Stock Exchange type sort of scenario or businessman, you'll see them sometimes. But anyway, speaking of Rolodexes,
My dad sold seafood, and he had a Rolodex at work for
did he
calling
sell
on his
seafood by the
customers.
seashore? I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
I've lived in Illinois all my life. We are a landlocked state, so getting seafood here is a thing.
I'm sorry. That was just too easy. That one flipped out before the brain mouth filter could even think about turning on.
I imagine getting safe seafood is even more of a thing.
If you're anywhere near the Lake of Michigan, and like I do, yeah, you're more liable to get syringes than you are anything else.
It's not like he's fishing in Los Angeles.
I don't even want to go down that road. Anyway, before we piss off the entire continental U.S., Darius, what's new and exciting for you? Other than we finally had a vampire game the other night. That was pretty
Yeah. Yeah. That was
I bet-
enjoyable.
I bet the vampire game sucked.
Oh.
Other than the pun, you watch your damn mouth, man.
So,
Was it
what are the
full of-
clans?
Oh,
Was it full of bite? Was it full of biting action?
There actually in that particular episode there wasn't any biting. It was all done kind of like haphazardly off, like barely mentioned that we fed. Think about it.
Yeah.
The clans we have a Toreador. That's me.
Excellent.
We have a Gangrel. We have a Nosferatu. We have I don't remember what Dornan's characters or not Jabberwocky's character's clan is off the top of my head. And I keep wanting to say
Jabba's.
yeah, and I keep wanting to say Darius is a Lasombra, but I don't think that's right.
No, I'm not a Lasombra, but I'm embraced by a Lasombra.
Yes, that's right. You did one of those really weird V20 things. And I don't remember what Dornan is, what clan he is.
I am a Chiasid.
That's it. Chiasid. That's a thing.
I always get the clans mixed up because I'm not that into it. Which is the ones that hear voices?
Those are the
That's the
Malkavians.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, and they certainly have their own unique connection to the world. At any rate,
but
besides a
you've got
vampire game, what
You've got a Toreador and you've got a Nosferatu. You have the very pretty and the very ugly at the table.
Yes, and my character is very much the Vampire 20 Dark Ages version of a D&D bard. Except for the singing and dancing part. At any rate.
I think Jabba might be a Ventrue.
Ooh,
Ooh.
could be. Jabba, if you're watching this, let us know in the comments. Or
Yeah.
let us know on Saturday. I don't know.
Yeah.
James doesn't keep the Foundry page up often, so it's not like I can just open it up and look at his character sheet.
Right.
But
Are we able to look at each other's character sheet?
I remember
haven't
looking
done
at
it.
yours and going, "Oh, that's right, he's a Chiasid," and then I forgot until tonight what a Chiasid was, or what your
Yeah.
clan was, or whatever.
And for those who don't know, a Chiasid is a true fae that was embraced.
Oh.
Really, really weird. I say really weird because
Or you know, a Chiasid who embraced someone else. But there's fae involved. Fae blood.
at any
There
rate,
you go.
you got
Fayblood,
anything
that's
new and
that. That's
exciting you
that.
want to share?
Other than that game, you know, I encourage people to go watch it.
Please watch it. It's amazing. It's a fun time. You should watch it.
Yeah,
Not
it's
because I want the
definitely a
views.
fun time.
It's not because I want the views. It's actually it's going to be an interesting series of vampire moments.
Yep.
Hey, well, that takes us to Alturios in what could possibly be one of our longest running intros because I keep getting sidetracked and interjecting with everything. Alturios, what is new and exciting for you, my friend?
Not much. Coming up to the end of the semester here, but other than that, not really anything to write home about.
Okay. Well, maybe this won't be a long running intro because he has nothing to share.
I curtailed it. It's my
Well,
fault.
is that you truncated it?
Yeah.
He didn't give you a chance to run off on a tangent.
No
Well, let me-
tangents. No content.
Let me throw my dumb question that's now belated in. Fayblood, that's those little metallic tops that you rip start and fight other people with, right?
No, that's Beyblade.
Oh, okay.
Warner, please, for the love of God, help us.
Well,
Then he got Darian shaking his head at Rev.
so yeah, sickness has been traveling through my family, and
It's
on
that time of year.
Tuesday, I did the certification for unemployment for the first time ever, and had a moment of heart attack where my computer restarted when I was
Ooh.
in process.
Ooh.
And when I came back, it was like, your thing is complete. And so I called up the line and it was like, you need a pin. I was like, okay, I don't have one of those. So I called a different help number and waited in line forever and talked to somebody who was like, after answering all the security questions, was, oh yeah, your thing is just fine. Everything's on track. Nothing to worry about. You should see your check in a couple of days. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So you
looking
are
for
officially
work.
unemployed at this point?
Yes, I am officially unemployed, looking for jobs. If anyone knows of a Scrum Master position that is remote work, I am open to all sorts of hours and things. I obviously like to continue to be with my family.
I
And I
don't
have
know if
several
you can...
years of experience being a Scrum Master for a couple high-performing development teams. So,
Reach out to Fohammer on the Discord server. He's actually in your state.
oh,
In a very similar position. I don't know specifics, I don't know details, and I certainly don't know what he can do, if anything, to help you. But perhaps he could point you in some good directions.
all right.
You could find him, obviously, in the member list. You remember Fohammer, actually, because he was...
Yep. He was part of
he was going to be-
CWI.
Fohammer was in CWI?
I thought he was.
Warhammer 111? I'm so confused by this. This is a lore drop I was not expecting. This is a plot twist, my friends. I'm real honest to God in the real world plot
I could be
twist.
wrong. I could be wrong. There were a number of us, but I thought he was.
Wasn't he going to be in this campaign?
He was going to be in this campaign, yes. But there were some issues with scheduling and whatnot, and he wasn't able to make it.
Air quotes.
Listen, I'm trying to be polite. We're live.
I know. That's why I just said what I said.
Rev
But yeah,
says, politeness, what's that? I'll
Yeah.
throw shade how I want.
Well, I picked until Omar responded. I picked the most minimal way to throw shade that I
yes,
could
and
think of
we're
possible.
still in it. So let's get out of it. On the real though, so yeah, Foehammer does scrummy thing. That sounds so horrible.
Yep.
But he does scrummy things. I don't know particulars. He's mentioned it, and it's been too long since he and I discussed anything about it. But he does scrummy things. He's in your state, and then
All right.
he can. I would like to think he could at least try to point you in the right direction. So if you reach out to him and maybe he can get something going for you. I don't know.
Yep.
Certainly better than I can, which is point at a random internet dude that may or may not be able to help you.
I'm
Well, when you-
also familiar with extreme programming and Kanban, and to my chagrin, I am also familiar with the traditional waterfall style of IT project management. So,
Also, I'm going to change the name of this episode to Scrummy Things.
Very
good. Just because of that.
Well, when you first said he's in the same state as you are, I thought of unemployment.
No. Geopolitical. Try not to dox too many people at once here.
Don't
It's usually
you mean-
frowned upon.
I was gonna say I think you just mean geographic.
Sure, why not? Although, actually, I think Foehammer has said where he's at online before, but it's not necessarily my place to regurgitate that. So,
Right.
at any rate, today is my youngest son's birthday. He is a grand total of 12 years old as of today.
hooray!
He is also known lovingly, as far as I'm concerned, Spawn the Final, as in all of my children have Spawn-ish names. He is the last. I don't plan to have any more children that are by blood. And, well, it's been easy to do that lately, but we won't get into how that's easy. I'm so fucking lonely. Anyway.
I'll be there for you, Omar.
No, go the fuck
Cue-
away.
Cue the Team
Omar, if
America Kim Jong
The Team America. Oh my god, that montage.
So Ronri.
Omar, if you're ever feeling alone, remember a friend is
Shut
always
the Oh my
welcome.
god, I should just. You know what? I need to stop talking about my personal life. That's what it is.
I was half expecting Rev to start with that one, but thank you for getting to it.
Yeah, at least he circled back around to it, right? Let's play this stupid game that we're supposed to be playing right now. Previously on Tithes of Acheron, you guys fought a bunch of frickin' orcs and killed them all with minimal casualties. You are currently in the caves. There's
Minimal.
orc pieces all over. Like, I think the only person that got beat up was the combat servitor.
Yeah, he needs a couple of
And
repairs.
let's be honest, is that really a person?
Well,
Casualties
sort of.
and casualties does include wounded.
Yeah, the combat
When-
servitor. I don't think anybody else got wounded.
No,
When
casualty
my-
implies death.
No, casualties wounds.
No,
Those are
casualties.
fatalities.
Yeah.
Casualties is the all embracing.
Oh, okay.
Fatalities and injuries is more specific.
And you may say nobody personal, Omar, but I take it personally when my trophies of conquest of other rogue traders get damaged.
Oh my god, we'll get the freaking shine all back out and buff it back out, okay? At any rate, you are in the cave system still. There are orky bits all over the place. And now that the fighting has died down, you realize that this was at one point in time, insofar as orcs are concerned, well-to-do living. It is
I
up to
would
you
like
at
to-
this point to do any sort of battle damage assessment, exploitation of the battlefield. There's actual other terms I can't think of right off the top of my head, but effectively that's the moment. This is that time to do those things.
I feel
This
like
is
the board.
where
I feel like the
Reinhardt
board.
goes, I don't have any flamer weapons, and I don't know how much promethium is handy, but I'm sure that I can find some sort of petrol and prepare this place.
So it feels like some of the pieces got rotated back to where they were the previous session because
They
I'm
probably
pretty sure
were.
I'm pretty sure we had some characters that were in front of the mouth of the cave What I would like
Yeah.
to know is, was Warner's character in a position to see an orc eat his own grenade?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think everybody saw that.
I was
I
up
was.
front
And-
and close.
And to be
I
totally
was
honest,
over here.
I forgot to save the last of the fighting. This is from the beginning of the previous episode when the fighting was concluded. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything out of place.
Yeah,
a lot of
Yeah,
things
I-
are, like there
I
was,
was over here.
Jace was up there. He did run up that way to kill
Yeah.
off
And
the last
then-
couple of things or something.
and
I
these-
was over in this area somewhere.
Yeah.
These guys were up here in a line going down, up and down.
Yeah, like there is some movement that is lost from. The last
Ultimately,
session now.
it's okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's why I wasn't terribly.
I don't.
I just-
I don't
I
know where Reinhardt was.
I wasn't trying to be pedantic. I just was curious if Reinhardt had any reaction to an orc eating his own grenade.
Confusion, a weird mix of disappointment and entertainment. Some other things. If you were to actually ask him personally, he might wax philosophical.
Hope is the first step on the road to disappointment.
That really needs to be on a Sith Lord T-shirt.
I was just
Cancel it.
thinking one of those
It-
demotivator posters.
That would work
It's
too.
it's from the librarian from Dawn of War.
Ah, okay. That's even more accurate now. Yeah, so the scene is yours. Whatever you want to do inside
Well,
this cave.
I'm not gonna RP Winter too much, but she basically does run up, and the closest you've seen her to unrestrained, except still somewhat of a masked and veneer of calmness, but a few notches above her normal level of animation, and she asks what you guys think. She says she's been saving that for a special occasion.
Did she say something about how she's not the only one good with food? Referencing, of course, the Ogren chef Jeff.
Yeah, no, I
What?
don't feel like Rodance would make a food joke.
Nah, you're probably right.
Uh,
I want to loot that body.
Once Reinhardt mentally processes what the inference means, he'll be like, "Oh, so that was you?" Then he'll give her a great big
She
full
steeples
round of
her
applause.
she steeples her fingers with a mischievous grin. It's yes.
Now I want and remember she has I don't know if it's necessarily metallic arms, but she has artificial arms too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She lost one in her character development, and then later on was like, "Fuck it, I want matching arms."
Robotic arms can still have steepled fingers.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They just look slightly different than normal arms.
Well, I'm going to loot this body.
Oh, I think you're gonna have to race the mechadendrite bearing tech priest, not tech priest, explorator.
I mean, he's right next to it.
Yeah,
Right
I'm literally right there.
Yeah, that's true. There is a
a
amongst her.
If-
So
if
go ahead, Rev.
as the Lord Commander, I think that I would probably raise my voice and say, Psychers often possess many dangerous artifacts. Perhaps our Psyker should see if there's anything that could harm someone before they go messing with things of the warp they do not comprehend.
At which point somebody looks at Rev's character and says, "That's an awful lot of words to come out of your mouth at one time. Are you okay?" I'm joking. Don't listen to me. Don't read into that.
He is literally a
Reinhardt.
windbag.
That's a lot of words. Too bad
Reinhardt
I'm
is
not
going to
listening.
go back to the Lord Commander's side and
Don't-
give him a look for running off, and he's going to send Cassian and a detachment back to supplies to fetch things to purify this place with flame.
Okay. They'll come back in a little bit with sufficient resources by which to do that. Who is doing the actual looting of...
What supplies do we have? Because I think we are a bit of a forward detachment.
You don't have a lot with you, per se. It's more of a matter at this point, actually, of calculating. I'm sorry, not calculating. Coordinating the delivery of said assets up here.
Yeah, I was like, I think we'd have to basically radio out for Promethium to purge the place.
I suppose I could probably dilute what Promethium I have from my Melta, because even diluted Promethium is probably good enough to light some serious fires.
Well,
yes,
I think
but I don't know if it would be enough to scour this place of all the spores
Correct.
that need to be scoured.
But it could do for the most
There's a few
obviously shroomy spots.
Yeah.
There's a few concentrated areas of body piles that would probably be.
Yeah, like
But
the main. You've got certainly you would have the first couple of rooms you were in where the fighting was the first set of fighting. Up at the top where Alturios got cut off for a while, and then obviously in the main central chamber where virtually every other orc died.
And then the side chamber with the war boss and his retinue.
Yeah.
You spend an extended period of time on orc planets. Does that mean you get an orc invasion in your lungs?
Oh my god, that would be horrifying. Could you imagine orcs just taking root inside your lungs and eventually they chest burst their way out and start screaming in Cockney?
If that could happen, I imagine it would have happened on Armageddon already.
or better yet, to Reinhardt.
They
think
wear gas masks all the time.
In the spore stage, they're no different than any other mushroom. We breathe in spores all the time and don't get sporal infections in our lungs.
No, usually your immune system handles it just fine.
Yeah, unless of course you're immune deficient or it's a particularly hardy strain.
Yeah. All right, so Reinhardt sends Cassian and some of his people off to go figure out what they need to do to get some Bernie stuff down here. Jace is going to loot the body, I believe, or is it Winter, or is it the not Alturios, Icarus? Who's doing the actual looting?
Darius do it since he's right there. Since.
Okay. And then Lord Captain has decreed that perhaps the friendly Psyker should loot the enemy Psyker's body. Is Jace going to fight this command?
Or just check it. Obviously, clearly, a perception check to look for hidden items should be done by somebody. But first, maybe a general like Significance or warp check to make sure that she's not carrying a hidden portal to the.
She doesn't have Rick and Morty portals to the warp in the palms of her hands.
Right, or simply an object on her that appears steeped in chaotic energies that would not be great for a regular person.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, give me a quick well, not quick, obviously, but give me a perception test for Winter there.
Would it be perception or Significance?
You know what? I'll let you choose. How do you want to scope the body, as it were?
It'd probably help if I had the character sheet open. Hold on.
It probably would. You also just rolled a 93, so I don't think that's what you wanted to do.
Right. I'll probably reroll it. Give me just a second.
Listen, I don't think you meant to roll a 93. Unless I'm wrong.
That
was totally on purpose.
Yeah.
I was like, does one ever mean to roll bad numbers?
Well, I mean, did you mean to roll? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I meant to roll. And then I was like,
there are some times where a bad outcome would be really funny, and I'm like, come on.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely times when, narratively speaking, a bad outcome is more entertaining than a good outcome. I feel like some of the times it's this game. Oh, you guys didn't get smooth sailing? You got warp incursion? Oh, no!
I do have peer astropaths.
That's more of like having a contact than it is anything else.
Yeah, but my point is I am exposed a lot to this sort of thing.
So perhaps a little less wary of it.
Yeah, what that would do is if you were to roll some sort of like, in your case, awareness, instead of having like a hard difficulty, you would have a less than hard difficulty. If that makes sense. I'm not putting any. I mean, the rolls are just flat, just +0, but
statistically, like, so I'm trying to remember how you calculate Significance.
Significance is, I believe, an intelligence. That doesn't.
I thought it was.
No,
it was
that doesn't sound right.
awareness.
Now that I said that.
No, Significance is the.
It's perception.
Oh, it's a perception.
It's perception.
Yeah, perception based.
Okay.
As soon as I said it, I was like, no, that doesn't sound right.
Well, I've
But-
got a 61 on awareness.
It's
Oh,
a
Winter's probably got
perception.
more
Cyniscious
than
is
that.
trained.
So her Cyniscience is perception plus 20, so she's got a 73 Cyniscience. So I'll definitely reroll that.
Okay. And no modifier, just flat skill test. Okay, I mean, currently it doesn't seem like there's anything weird about this 3-armed psyker who is very clearly not what's the word I'm looking
Normal?
for here? Sanctioned. That's the word I'm looking for. Because usually sanctioned psychers will be blinded or show other forms of having had contact with the God Emperor.
Yeah, well, sanctioned psychers also typically don't show a form of mutation that would only be allowed in something like an astropath.
Correct. Not an astropath. God damn it, navigators. Because they're allowed
what I
that
meant.
mutation of having the third eye.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, and they are technically considered psychers. They're also
Mutants.
technically considered mutants. They're like cousins to psychers, if I'm not mistaken.
They have a particular
That's it.
mutation
Yeah,
that allows them to see
Abhuman. That's what it is.
potentials in the warp.
Yeah, abhuman is the word I was thinking of, actually. Not so much that they're psychers. They're a tolerated form.
So, did you want me to roll awareness?
You certainly can. I believe that is the 2 rolls for revs, or excuse me, for winter. So if you would like to roll that, then it is a +0. I think you got 61.
Yeah, and I will spend a fate point to raise it to 71.
Sure. Okay.
How's that?
Not bad. You notice, and not so much because you have any sort of psychic capabilities, but you do notice that there is one of her weapons is a sacrificial blade, and there is a certain weird, or calling it an aura implies that you could see it. There's a vibe you get when you see it, and it just makes you feel. It literally sends a shiver down your spine as soon as you see the knife and the markings on it.
All right. At that point, I will wave Winter over.
I hate puppeting Winter so much. It's not my character. I feel like I'm.
That's
It
fine.
almost.
I could take over Winter. If
No,
you
no,
want.
No. She goes over, looks at the knife. If she touches it, does she get any extra vibes, or would she be hesitant to touch it based off what she's feeling in proximity?
I think she would be able to touch it without, like, I think what it is she will get the feeling of that. You know what? Go ahead and roll Cyniscience again, because this is specifically for this knife.
Okay. Now, does she get any advantage for actually like touching it?
Yeah, I'll give you a +10, which I believe takes her up to 81, and another fate point if you want to re-roll that. God damn.
That's 2. What the heck?
Yeah. Well, fortunately, these are Winter's fate points.
There you go.
Yeah. She actually gets something of a premonition.
Maybe let's just say she's still kind of like wiping mind fog from.
Yeah.
being an
Yeah,
Orkman.
like she's a little, coming out of the previous thing, and now she's doing this other thing. And mentally speaking, there's a bit of a transition phase there. She slowly reaches out to inspect this knife after staring at it for a moment or two. And by the time she pulls the knife out, she actually freezes for a good 3 or 4 solid seconds. Just freezing, mid-motion, knife kind of held up in front of her. And then she drops it, and she blinks, and then she realizes what has just happened. And she says, "My apologies, Lord Captain. She is far from just an unsanctioned psyker. She has had some rather devious dealings with the warp. It's a wonder that the only misshapen bit of her is a third arm. She's sacrificed many a thing for the chaos, for the agents of chaos." And she says that in a, like, she's kind of hesitant to speak some of those words out loud, and so they're a little bit softer, a little bit more hesitant. And then after a moment, she says, "I think that is the scariest part of her belongings. If you would like,
I
I
didn't
can
want to touch
continue.
it.
If you would like, I can continue going through her apparently meager belongings. And when she drops the knife, by the way, you'll note that there's a number of, let's just call them arcane symbols etched into the blade and the handle that, if you don't know what the meanings are, they just look like some weird symbology, but certainly giving everybody who sees them the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, Lord Commander, I know that you may have other designs here, but I thought I should at least offer up the option. I could absolutely use my melter gun on that.
On the knife or on the body?
Both.
The knife.
Ultimately, yes.
Let's continue to search. Are there any symbols, any physical links to who this
yes,
creature of chaos belongs to?
Oh yes, you don't even have to roll perceptions to see this one. You will know she is wearing a sort of a reinforced void suit that has been obviously modified to account for her third arm. That is under these robes that she's wearing that look like at one point in time they might have actually been really good looking robes, like really, certainly worth a pretty penny. Unfortunately, they've gone quite grimy after presumably living down here for quite a while. She also has a number of trinkets and fetishes scattered in various pockets and whatnot, charm bracelets, things of that nature. Most of this stuff is fairly benign or let's say neutral, but every now and again you'll see something that's a little weird. There's a couple of orc teeth worked into the charm bracelet. There's oh god, how many points on the star for chaos? 8-pointed star.
Yep.
8-pointed star at one point. That once you realize it has 8 points, you're like, ooh, that's not cool. I don't want to look at that. Avert my eyes.
Must say that it takes some adjustment gallivanting around with you folks, and my time in the Astra Militarum, this stuff would have all been annihilated without a moment's review.
The other thing, though, that is predominant throughout her gear is on her suit, or excuse me, on her void suit, on her robes. She even has a necklace with this as a pendant. Is a mailed fist on a black background.
Oh, great.
Which I'm not even going to make you roll at this point. You already seen the symbol enough that this is House Hennet.
Okay. So we're
Is it
at the
bad? I
very
was going to make. Oh, go ahead.
at the very least, we're taking the chaos medallion, the charm with the orc teeth, and the void suit. I'm all for burning the body, but I believe the void suit itself would be an indicator enough of a mutation with a third arm.
Yeah.
What I'm basically doing is I'm trying to collect enough evidence that I can essentially, if I have a chance to present this to for example, say an Inquisitor of the Ordo Xenos, as evidence that a rogue trader house has an unsanctioned mutant in their service who has direct dealings with chaos and also appears to be using potentially that chaos link to bring hostile alien species to humanity onto their side.
Yep.
I must also say, it is not in my experience that the Chaos peoples and the Orcs get along. I've fought both in my time, and they seem to not like each other very much, so I am a bit confused.
Winter is the one that actually kind of picks through some of the stuff, kind of peering over Jace's shoulder, or whoever's actually doing it. She will actually look up at you, Reinhardt, with her not quite totally working eyes, but otherwise looking exactly directly at you, and says, "Actually, it wouldn't be terribly surprising if she were more of an agent of chaos who beguiled the orcs into fighting the humans." "Oh, look, a data slate!" And she grabs a data slate out from under the robes and passes it up to somebody who can, actually use it. I want to argue that Winter probably could use the data slate, even with her psyker bullshit, but would just prefer somebody else do it at this point.
And I'm going to reach down and snap the pendant of Halcinet off her neck.
Okay.
And dangle it and show it to the Lord Captain.
So yes, we're collecting evidence of mutations, evidence of Halcinet, evidence of chaos, and evidence of working with the orcs.
Yep.
I will be asking Winter if there is a way to protect us from the dangers of chaos that are imbued in these items.
There's only one surefire way I know, which, that's a pun. Fire. Burn it, destroy it, remove all evidence of that thing that you're carrying, the symbols themselves.
Yeah, I second that motion.
I think she would say something along those lines because of what the God Emperor and the Astra Telepathica would. The only way to be sure is to just destroy it.
We still need the evidence, though.
And I would basically say that in
there
most
are
circumstances,
ways to ward it, to fashion a symbol, or perhaps at one point in human history it would have been called a spell, to ward off the chaos energies that might still emanate from such an item. Give me a few days and I'm sure I can finagle something.
Yeah, I've always been via dealt with this done the extreme prejudice option.
Fire.
So there was the one time I did see a strange man wrap something up in litanies.
Yes, something
But
along those lines. Litanies, symbologies.
He had a discussion with a commissar and somebody wearing a rosette later, and I'm not sure I wanted any part of that.
I think Winter would look at you and just wink and be like, "You probably did it." But yeah, so basically the options is you can either destroy it or you can ward against it with some sort of construct and or spellage. In this case, obviously the spell would be more psychic energy, throwing it back at it to contain it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a data slate.
All right, so
I'll take the data slate and pass it up to. Well, I guess I'll just look through it.
I was going to say I have a
password locked.
I have a data port, but I suspect that might be if it's locked, that might be of more of a
Mechanicus.
Acheron's domain.
Yeah. So I'll pass it over to Acheron.
Karis, you have, amongst all of the psyker, wizardry, jibber jabber, demons, and bullshit, somebody gives you a piece of technology, and the Omnissiah is praised in the process, at least in your mind.
I don't know. This data slate looks pretty dirty. I don't think the Omnissiah is really blessing this one.
Are you thinking it's Heretic at this point?
It's a bit dirty. It's gonna be.
Listen, you've got 2 servo skulls and a combat servitor that can carry this shit for you, or even better yet, hold on to it as you figure out how to push which button to unlock it.
Yeah.
Which I think would be absolutely amazing and amusing if you had Archimedes and Pythagoras just kind of floating there holding this thing between the 2 of them.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's see, tech use, intellect.
Yeah, it would be a tech use, and I will give you a +10. I believe you have some tools that may also give you a bonus.
I have a combat tool and a utility mechanism, which brings it up to I think 78 no 88. 88.
That includes the +10 I'm giving you.
Yep.
I feel like it's something that Icarus would probably be able to figure out in fairly short order. It might take a moment or two, but I think eventually you can get inside to the operating system and reset the password and all.
Why?
80 needs an 88, rolls a 90. Wow, the rolls tonight are horrifying.
50 is the lowest
lore-
roll we've gotten.
The
No.
deepest lore
No,
of
we
the
had a 3.
I always got
Omnissiah
a 3.
Oh, that's right, we had 3.
implores him to beware of limes that are wired and the smallest of torrents.
Yes, exactly. The bit torrents? Is that the ones?
That might be micro.
Ooh. Yeah, so you reset the password to where it no longer needs a password. And you now have access. Are you gonna take a look through the files yourself, or are you gonna pass it off to someone else to do that?
I could probably do it faster than other people, so I'll take a
You-
look through it.
Probably
The data,
can.
the data slate then asks you if you'd like to set up two-factor authentication.
It actually does. At which point Archimedes and Pythagoras both look at you, and neither one of them have emotion, but I feel like Icarus would read emotion into it and be like, "Oh, you don't want to be the two-factor, and you don't want to be the two-factor either, do you? Well, fuck both of you. Now you both are the two-factors. I now have three-factor authentication."
3-factor.
So you're gonna browse through the files yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me tech use. But you're gonna do at a -20. But if you succeed, you're gonna get some information that may or may not break everybody.
Okay.
Oh, good.
I'm going to use another fate point to make that into a -10.
Okay.
And then looking at
That might have succeeded. I'm not sure.
Your tech use
Nope.
was 70 before the -10, right?
it's 78, so yeah, that's just a plain old success.
Okay. All right. There's a couple of files in particular that you find. The first one is something kind of like a diary, and it goes through kind of what seems to be the history of this individual on this planet. And it looked like she has actually been on this planet for a few years, basically instigating the orcs into fighting the humans. There is, in fact, a note of a battle that was fought probably about 1.5 years or so ago. Very specific battle, because it marks the death of Nomi Van Breeze.
Oh,
And
we're keeping the
she
head.
actually has a line in there where she is ecstatic that she has actually succeeded in killing the rogue trader Lord Captain, but then a few lines later mentions, now the problem is that there's probably an heir out there somewhere.
So, am I made aware of this?
I want to be
Yeah.
clear, it's not stated that she killed Nomi, just that battle is where she was killed.
Oh, yeah. No.
There's another file, or well, let me rephrase that. The journal goes back. Maybe you look a little bit further back, and you're kind of bouncing all over the place, different data nodes and whatnot as you're skimming along through the operating system. You catch where she first arrived on this planet with a mission, a purpose, and she encountered the orcs and immediately basically challenged them. I'm going to use some BattleTech terms here. Challenge for a trial of position and unleash the warp. And basically just let all the warp out. And it allowed her to subdue the war boss. Dakashak Grimhead, the one who later ate a grenade. Basically dominated him to the point where he swore allegiance or something along those lines for his warband. And so that they basically fought for her.
We're Brain lady's the boss, I guess.
Yeah, weird lady, boss lady. Same.
Mm-hmm.
It then goes back a little bit further, and this is now in a separate file, so you're on a totally different data node track. This was an assignment given to her by Davros Hennet, Lord Hennet. The goal was to distract House Van Breeze from what was really going on a place called Taslac 5. A similar operation was to take place on a different world that's not mentioned here. That something else was going to happen somewhere else, meant to tie up, confound, and confuse the leadership of House Van Breeze so that House Hennet could conduct their operations on Taslac 5. All three worlds, it should be noted, everybody related to House Van Breeze knows that these are House Van Breeze worlds. All three of them. Taslac 5, Videmar, the world you're on, and the third world that's not actually mentioned in her documents.
Okay.
All of this information, Alturios skims through all of these different data nodes in about 45 seconds. Has basically reconstructed the entire history of this woman on this planet. Something that would have taken a normal human mind about 30 minutes to dig through of dedicated searching.
Dear Diary, today I made a deal with chaos.
Yeah, basically.
Dear Diary.
That's the only thing that's not in this particular set of files is where she made whatever pacts that she made with whatever agents of chaos.
Are there any references to her, what minions of the warp that she has allied herself with?
Are you asking me or are you asking Icarus? Once Icarus conveys all of that information. The answer is no, in either case.
Okay. I suppose I'd be asking Icarus as the...
Well, yeah, so Icarus, you've got the gist of it, that there are three worlds in play. Taslac 5, this world, and a third world, which, off the top of my head, I literally cannot remember, but I want to say it's... Oh, God. Hold on. Let me just a second here.
I would ask him to upload a copy of the relevant files off of the pad to several places on the ship and put the data pad itself with the rest of the evidence. But in addition to the evidence, I am going up to the somewhat pulped psyker and removing the head.
Okay.
Good idea.
So it was Haslot was the third world. So it was Videmar, which is the world you're currently on, invaded by Orks. There's Haslok. Some sort of distraction is referenced in those files, but it is not it's not specified what that problem is. And then Taslok, however the fuck I said it a moment ago, that is where Hennet's main operation is.
Yes. Well, as this is just a distracting operation, let us wrap up things on this planet as quickly as we're able. Let's focus the searches on the bodies of any of the elite orcs, the boss orc, see if there's any salvage worthwhile, and then mark it for the command staff of this planet to go and cleanse this place with Promethium, and then see what we need to do to help clear the rest of the smaller orc encampments off the planet.
Yeah.
Insofar as loot is concerned, every one of these orcs has anywhere from a couple to several handfuls worth of orc teeth, which I think Reinhardt would know the significance of that.
Yeah, that's their money, but it's not useful for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool little trophy, which is why the Psyker had a couple worked into her charm bracelet to signify victory over, controlling this horde. Beyond that, their loot is, of course, their weapons and gear won't work, right, for humans, because...
Except as scrap.
Yeah, you could use them as scrap, melt them down and repurpose it or whatever, but in their present state,
Well, this is a mining
work
world,
poorly
so
or
they
they
could-
don't work at all.
As I recall, you said this was a world that produced raw resources, and given the fact that we're in a cave that has active volcanism in it, I'm assuming this is a planet we get ore off of.
Let me see what my
so
notes
just
say off the top of my head off of this.
So just a notation for any salvage operations on the planet that there might be a sizable amount of metal to be redistributed.
It occurs to me that I have the
Would Reinhardt be interested in a necklace of teeth?
no.
Okay.
I hate orcs. I don't want to wear anything of them on myself.
Well, there were some Japanese folks that hated Chinese folks, but didn't stop them from wearing ears around their neck.
Yeah, well, we're not doing that.
Those are considered war trophies and are not exactly the same thing. In regard to the mineral resources, the notes here are that mineral resources include a nearly exhausted radioactive resource and a limited source of industrial metals. All of this, of course, requires the orc threat to be removed before exploitation can begin and/or resume. So there are some industrial assets available here.
Right. And I was just saying that given the nature of what I was aware that this world harvested, they would have facilities capable of recycling metal, and there would be a decent, and there would be at least a small haul from this location.
Being as that I have the blood tracker talent, is there any bounty information that exists for, this psyker if I check my data slate?
Ooh, that's a great question. Where can I find information on that particular town?
That would be the main page, or the main book, page 95. The page name number, not the PDF number.
Book page 95. Blood Tracker. The explorer is an experienced and cunning bounty hunter who commands the highest price for bringing in a quarry in dead or alive. Turning in a fugitive for bounty, the character's group gains a bonus of 100 objective points towards military or criminal objectives. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say on that. Yes, but no.
Okay.
Yes, because we'll argue that's maybe somewhere prior to her engagement in this particular multi-year operation, there's a bounty for her back in maybe Footfall or something like that. No, in that because we're not using the objective points as they're described in the core book, we're not using that system.
Mm-hmm.
What that will amount to is when you guys conclude this segmentum, there will be a little extra profit factor thrown in for you.
Woot!
So don't let me forget that. Now, let me caution you, this is not going to be much more than about 2 or 3 points of profit factor, because that's how profit factor works. So don't expect like 5 or 10 points, okay?
Well,
I'm okay with any extra, to be honest.
I was gonna say, like, no, not to tear anybody else's group down, but like, honestly, for a single bounty, even if it was like a very large bounty, we'd only be looking at like a point of profit factor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're probably gonna get like 1 or 2. I know I just said like 2 or 3, but I think 1 or 2 for an individual who didn't have like a galaxy-wide criminal empire. I think that's about as much as you're gonna get. We're not talking about like Jabba the Hutt levels here.
I was gonna say my bribes to the Footfall station commander were only a point of profit factor, and it was a sizable amount of funds.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like, arguably, like, cash-wise, tangible type stuff. That was a significant amount of cash. So, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the board. So don't freak out.
Okay.
So my 2 questions are: what do we need to do to help clear off any major remaining orc threat? Now that the primary, we have overwhelming numbers on the field for what orcs remain, or should, and we've wiped out their primary point of resistance.
All right. So, as you guys make your way back to the surface, following probably several hours of rooting and scooting and snooting through this orc cave, looking for anything that might be usable, whether physical, tangible, or evidence or intelligence, any of that sort of thing, As you come back up to the surface, you receive a communication alert from oh god, I forgot his fucking name. Hang on. Let's see. Ah, yes, the acting governor Karl von Marek. Lord Captain, please, if you may, sir, we would like, for our statuses here, an update on your operation.
I believe it's been so long, but I believe that we had talked about when we had concluded taking out the key infrastructure, like the key leadership,
Uh-huh.
because we did have such overwhelming numbers at the other locations. For defense, basically meaning the orcs couldn't get through. That we were going to have a counterattack on all three frontline positions.
Yes. I believe that was the case. And for the viewers, what that means is back here is the main orc warboss cave system that our team has just cleared over the last several episodes. Up here in the middle section, or the front of this operations area, are a number of armsmen that answer to Karl von Marek, augmented by squads of Acheron armsmen. And I believe the plan was indeed, once that was done, the next turn would be to attack these three fronts. Originally, my plan was to actually have more of these same, actual fights, but that's going to be ridiculously long to play out all of those. So what I will do is we're going to do a ballistic skill shoot-off from each side for each of the three engagements, and whatever happens, happens. So basically what's going to happen, let's start here. Nope, that's not. There we go. Nope, stop that. Why am I not? There we go.
Stop it.
I see what I'm doing wrong. I'm tabbing instead of holding the tab. Or, yeah, anyway. We'll start here, and we'll work from there to here to here. Representing your armsmen, somebody makes a percentile roll against their ballistic score. The orcs will make a roll against their ballistic score. Basically, a opposed test, and whoever has the most successes, or degrees of success, I should say, will win that engagement with some, potentially some casualties.
Okay.
I would like a clarification on that, because basically each one of those figures is supposed to represent about the same number of troops, as I recall from when we talked last, and we intentionally deployed overwhelming numbers. So volume of fire in and of itself should either count
No, you're
as
right.
some addition.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of cut you off, but yeah, volume of fire would give you, quantity is a quality of all of its own. So the orcs have a ballistic skill of 20. Well, actually, let me double check that. Let me see what my notes say, because these are different figures that I use. When I say figures, I mean the models. Give me a second here. Well, you probably didn't need to see all that. Fuck it. Orc boys have a 24. So, all right. So 24 versus your armsmen's. What is that? 40. I'll give you a plus 10 because of overwhelming firepower. So you're actually shooting against a 50.
Come on,
Yeah,
give us at least a 60 with that kind of.
I mean,
overwhelming.
You
numbers.
already have a more than double advantage over my own ballistic skill. You know what? Fine. I'll let you have it at 55. How about that?
Okay.
Against my 20. No, what did I just say? 24?
24.
Yeah. So, starting in this first group, let me roll them really quick. So they're rolling against a 24, and I scored a 6 degrees of failure.
Warner, why don't you take this roll?
Against your 1 success,
you
I
said
think?
55, so
Yeah.
yes.
So this group will, the remnants will fall back, and these guys can move up. All right, this group, the middle group there, again against a 24. Oh shit!
That's
that
a good
is
roll.
2 degrees of success. Go ahead, whoever's rolling that one.
Jace or Ikaris, you want to take this one?
Okay. I'm just rolling on a 55.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. So
So I'm going to use a fate point on that.
I will allow fate points. I think that's pertinent. It's also going to give you guys a big advantage. Okay.
Behold.
They are going to fall back as well. They're going to move up. All right. And then these guys gets to 24.
Holy shite!
Damn.
Very good roll.
Yeah. Another 2 degrees of success. I don't know who's going to roll this one.
Alterius, you want to grab this one?
You want to
Mm-mm.
you want to fate point that one? I like how Alterius is like,
Oh, still not.
Okay. The God, what's the word I'm looking for here? The local
Garrison troops.
armsmen are straight
Yeah.
out murdered in the fighting. I'm gonna take. Basically, this group is going to lose their bonus, so they're back down to 40 as they are forced back, and the orcs actually get to move up.
Okay.
If they're okay.
In
The
the
orcs
next
weren't
turn.
attacking, but
Now,
okay.
I want to be for 1 second. There's 2 things I want to point, or 1 thing I want to point out. So that fighting will actually represent roughly one week's worth of actions. Your crew back here spent their turn initiating all of this. So this moment, your crew can actually do something,
Okay.
and this is the beginning of we'll call it a 3rd week of combat at this point.
Don't you mean second?
For the sake of argument, I'm gonna go with 3rd. Just
Okay.
for narrative reasons, that all of this is taking. This is now the beginning of the 3rd week's worth of combat, and
Okay,
right now the
well,
orcs are slightly.
If we know that is there cardinal directions written on this map? I don't see them.
No, you could assume north is towards the orc caves. I guess.
Well, if we know that our western flank is struggling, then obviously we would push out to the group in the west to isolate the
Drawing
advancing
this way.
orcs. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
I mean, I know what I'm going to do. So what we'll do is we'll do a round of movement and then a round of combat resolution where needed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you can move your command crew or your line units. And once one of those moves, I will move my line units because I don't have a command unit anymore.
Okay, so
And your line
Right.
units includes, of course, all 3.
we're going to be attacking this position with the command unit.
Okay.
This unit, which is lower in numbers, is holding. This unit is holding to basically see if the command unit succeeds here, and if it does, then these 2 units are attacking this position. If the command unit doesn't do so well, or seems to need help, these guys are going to come reinforce them.
Okay. So far, this is what we have. This is your first movement. This unit is going to move up to reinforce. This unit is going to hold, and this group is also going to. So now you can move your line units.
Okay, then these 2 are both definitely attacking that.
Both of them are going to attack?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright, so that will be... Okay, so let's resolve this bigger fight first. So both of your teams will get a separate roll, and my unit here will get a single roll.
Okay.
Well, I will get a single roll twice. So basically, I'm going to fight one group, and then I'm going to fight the next group, and have twice the chances of being eradicated. So for your first group, you'll have, or for both groups, you'll have 55. I'm still rolling against a 24 in both instances.
Yes.
So go ahead and whoever's going to roll that for that first.
I'll roll for this group again, as I did the last time.
That is.
And that'll be
3
lovely.
degrees. That is.
What the actual hell?
That's still only 2
They
degrees.
are beaten
yeah.
back though. They do get beaten back. I don't. That was supposed to grab both of them, but screwed it up. So they are pushed back in the fighting.
There
In
shouldn't be
fact-
2 of them. I was gonna say there shouldn't be 2 of them
In
left.
fact,
to
I'm
get
going to
pushed back.
remove one of them. So that territory is open. And the second group, both groups are on this point. Just to be clear.
Well, if the other group doesn't attack, then I say that they go back to their
No,
original position.
I hear where you're going with this, and my only argument is they were already committed to the attack, and this is kind of an abstract battle method. So both groups are currently occupying by the end of week 3.
If your group can fall back, so can they. If there
No,
cannot be
that
moved,
group is pushed off. That's the difference. They're pushed off that point because they lost the fight. That's what I was getting at. When you have 2 groups fight, the winner takes control of that point. And because you had 2 squads, effectively, 2 platoons, 2 companies, whatever.
okay, fine. What do we do for the command group roll? Or basically, given how well we know they kill orcs, do they even need to make a roll at this point?
Listen, just make Reinhardt's in that group, so Reinhardt, you can make your attack roll.
My ballistic roll?
Yeah,
Already?
and I'm rolling against a 24. And I feel like that's fairly accurate given how things have.
Hey,
I'm not
I
even
think
fucking
they're
roll.
annihilated.
I'm not even gonna fucking roll. Okay, I do need a die though, so I can keep track of.
Yes, they do need to die.
All right, so this is what the map looks like at the end of 3 weeks of fighting. A group of orcs has been pushed out of this eastern sector, and they have reoccupied what was previously burned out.
There is one other movement I'd like to make.
No, you've already committed your movements for that week.
No, because there's 2 groups who haven't moved. There's the
The
governor's
planetary peoples.
Okay, you should have moved them before, but okay. You can
Well,
move them up.
I'm trying to grab a couple in succession, but I can't seem to highlight any of the governor's troops.
So are you basically moving them all up to the next adjacent?
Yes.
Doing that, I imagine. Now we are at the beginning of week 4. This is the movement. So you have your command team and then all of your line units. You can move one or the other, either the command team or all your line units.
What do you mean, one or the other?
So you can move
He
either
made
your
a
command
roll on the
team-
10-sided dice.
I'm sorry?
He made a roll on the 10-sided dice to determine what would happen.
No.
So now
I didn't roll
he's
any
saying,
dice.
You didn't?
No, all I did was I
Who
changed
rolled the 10-sided?
this one over here.
Yeah.
I didn't roll
just
it.
the week counter.
It's just a turn
Oh.
counter or week counter.
Oh,
in
it's a
this
turn
case.
counter.
So I'm
Yeah.
asking why all of a sudden we can only move the command squad or the others.
Because you still have advantage of the field. You move all of your line units or your one command unit. I only have line units at this point. None of my orcs have risen up to take over effectively.
Okay.
I think line makes most sense.
There's more
Yeah.
units, so you can grab. Basically, you get the option of choosing where the
Sorry.
fights are because that's kind of how you're controlling the battlefield right now.
Okay. Well, one of the squad. I'm assuming we can only move between one along one line, one turn.
Yeah, from one point to the next point.
Okay. Well, where there's 2 squads together, one of them is moving to the center to reinforce the governor's armsmen. The other one is attacking the singular orc who's taking shelter in the caves. That was weird.
That was weird. What did you do, Icarus?
I don't know. I just moved them and they all
It did that.
collapsed.
Yeah,
That was weird. I don't know why it did
it was.
Just as a reinforcement, the other governor's linesmen that are in the far east are moving to the location that has just been vacated.
That makes sense.
I can't move those.
I got it.
And the squad in the west that did not do so great.
The ones that have lost their bonuses.
What bonuses?
They instead of having the 55 bonus, they're down to their
the
standard
40.
Their standard 40.
Okay, so they lose two guardsmen, and all their bonus from mass fire goes away, even though they still significantly on everything. Whatever.
Listen, I'm just keeping it abstract, and that unit's under pressure. That's what it boils down to.
They had
I
a week.
hear, I hear the
They
complaints.
had, they had a whole week to recuperate.
Recuperation doesn't quite work like that. I hear you, though. I hear you. I want you to recognize that I recognize your complaints.
So, freebooter?
Yeah, so the orcs
Okay.
will be moving. This orc is going to move up here to engage. This
Well,
orc...
he's not, because I've already told that squad to move to engage him.
What? Oh, this squad?
Yes.
Oh, I apologize. I missed that. So they're... Yeah, we were talking shit and I missed it. That checks out. And then this orc... I think he'll just stand fast and pick his nose. Alright. Start with the one that took over the boss case. So somebody needs to roll against a 55. I'm going to roll against a 24. These orcs are fundamentally fucked.
Do you want me to roll?
Go for it, Darius.
But time is a factor in the overall scale of the story. So that's part of the reason why we're doing all this, just for the record.
I am going to spend a fate point to increase their thing to 65.
Okay. I mean, they already failed their roll, so all you have to do is barely succeed and you'll win.
Hey, look, he succeeds.
He barely succeeded. If he hadn't spent the fate points, excuse me. Alright, so that crew takes over that spot. And then we have over here, rolling against a 24 versus rolling against a 40. That is 3 degrees of failure. Who's going to roll that one?
I believe that one's Ulterios' squad in this situation.
Sure. I don't know who's... just I think you guys are just kind of, not randomly, but taking turns or whatever.
I'll push the button.
Yay! Ooh,
That
good
is
roll.
2 degrees of success. They are beaten, and this group now occupies that point. The final orc boss, or excuse me, not orc boss, the final orc team.
He's literally the orc boss at this point.
I mean, yeah, he is by default. He's just, I don't think he's even aware of the tactical, or more accurately, the strategic situation, but I will let you guys move first. You've got initiative and you've got the numbers, so it's unlikely the orcs would have a chance to move first. So
I don't see why the command staff wouldn't make the first move here.
sure,
Reinhardt would definitely push for it.
now is the time, Captain. My German sucks. Yours is better.
We must rinse them out! We must destroy them all!
Yep. All right, go ahead, Reinhardt. I'll let you, since you've got the best ballistic score. I assume you're going to lead the charge here, especially in this particular situation. Ooh, you want to re-roll that just to have a lot of successes?
You know what? Sure. I've got fate points.
I got him.
No.
I got him, viewers. Oh, wait. I
It's
spoke
fine.
too soon? You're going to roll with just that?
Yeah. No. I'm going to roll it.
Oh, okay.
Behold!
There we go.
Proper slaughter.
Yeah. Your volume of fire is just relentless and unmerciful, and mine is pathetic. And you guys have secured and cleaned up the orc infestation. So that
I'm
took
thinking of that one
5
meme
weeks.
where you just have
Sorry.
guns akimbo and are spinning around shooting everybody.
There's definitely some shots of back-to-back turning around in circles, just annihilating the orc hordes all over the place over the next month and a half or so.
Biggest smile on his face.
The orc threat has, all intents and purposes, short of dumping gallons by the boatload of promethium and striking a match, the orcs have been defeated and removed from this planet. What would you like to do?
I make sure that enough promethium is left behind for the cleansing teams, which basically, if any of the governor's troops are not trained on how to use promethium sprayers, they're being quickly taught on how to cleanse the planet and set up with the proper equipment.
Okay.
We are replenishing our stockpiles from what's available.
I'm going to throw a word at you that you may not be ready for. But you've definitely asked for it a few times over the last several weeks, if not longer. Would you like to make acquisition rolls at this time?
Yes. I think we would.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There are a couple factors I want to point out because they are relevant in this case. Videmar is not so well developed, and so anything rated at very rare or higher, anything rated as more than standard, i.e. company size, insofar as quantity, and anything rated higher than good. Let me rephrase this. Very rare and higher is not available. If you are looking for more than a couple hundred, it is not available. And if you are looking for best craftsmanship, it is not available.
Okay.
I realize that may limit you quite a bit in what you might be looking for, but you may make the rolls regardless.
I
if you
think
would
we
like.
had some armsman to-dos.
Yes,
Like
we
flamers,
did.
I believe, was one thing that was mentioned.
That wasn't
I'm-
on the list originally, but it might be on the list now.
No, I don't think it's on the list. But I have misplaced the note we had for that. Give me 1 second.
And for the record, anybody taking notes or what have you can make note that it has taken 30, let me see, 5 weeks times 7. It has taken, not including the week's worth of turn fighting that first cave system, it has taken 35 additional days to clear out the rest of the orcs on the planet. So our date is currently, what's 48 and 35? That's 78, 83. It is day
You said that
83.
You said once we finish the planet, we could tell you what our names for these squads were.
Sure.
And we're sticking with the Greek theming. Let me know if you would like to write any of this down. So I don't, because you're clearly looking through some notes, I want to give you a chance. Let me know when you're ready for the names.
Let me open up my other notes. Squad names. All right, first squad, go.
Well, we have Bactria. We're sticking with the Greek thingy.
Okay, so that's Batrio.
I believe the spelling is Bactria. So,
Correct.
Anybody want to check me on that?
That is how you spell Bactria.
Okay.
They were a Greek city-state that thrived in the past in what is modern-day Afghanistan.
I need just a quick second. I gotta take care of something on the stream here. To open up my moderator view all of a sudden. Maybe I don't.
They were heavily influential in the Greek successor states of Alexander.
Yes, they were. The Seleucid Empire made extensive use of them.
At one point, the Bactrian Empire was a thing.
Okay, so I have Bactria. Is it just Bactria, or is it Bactria Squad, or how's that?
Well, yeah. Just the squad names, so they could be, squad could be used or not.
Okay.
It could be Squad Bactria or Bactria Squad.
All right.
Then there's Delphi, like the Oracle.
That's DELPHI, I imagine.
Is
Correct.
it PH or F?
It's
You
PH.
either.
I suppose it could be either, depending on your source. But I'll go with the PH.
Technically, most correct is PH though, because the Greek phi is PHI.
Yeah, because phi is an actual letter in the Greek alphabet, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, Mundo.
All right, and third squad?
We have Crete.
So that one more. Oh, Crete, like the Crete island.
The island.
Yeah.
Okay, fourth squad.
Athens.
Oh.
You know what? Let's rearrange those. Squad 1 should be Athens. Squad 2 should be Bactria. Squad 3 should be Crete, and Squad 4 should be Delphi.
Okay, so swapping out. I see what you're saying. I got you. So Athens.
It would be very military documentation though, from it all mixed up like that.
Okay. All right. So I have Athens, I have Bactria, I have Crete, and I have Delphi.
Correct.
Excellent. Okay.
We'll probably just be calling them Squad A, B, C, and D.
That's probably slightly better, actually.
Staff Sergeant White, Sam, how did you make Squad 1? Bravo!
I love how he threw the accent of a sergeant screaming at somebody. Which, I don't know how, but it has an accent all its own. Also, Darius, thank you for the sub. 8 months.
Yep.
Appreciate that, brother. Alright, so we've got squad names, and I believe there was some actual acquisition-y things that we need to figure out
Yes.
now.
We had some items that we were all going to try and push for at one point. Is everybody still on board with that, or is there something that anybody wants individually?
I forget
on
what those
board.
were, so you're just gonna have to use my acquisition roll for me.
Oh no, I can. Whenever you're ready to make your roll, I can remind you what some of the options were if you'd like.
If you could,
Yeah,
go ahead and discuss amongst yourselves for a moment. I'm going to use the restroom really quick, but talk amongst yourselves whatever you need to figure out so you can get the first roll set up.
Okay. I think some of the notes that we had in the thing are wrong about what their difficulty was, so I was trying to pull up my my cheat sheet of
Of all the availabilityness.
yeah. Right now, all I could find was the out of focus one, so that was frustrating me. But so I think the organ grinder rounds should probably be one of the top priorities if they are within the. I think they might be too high of a rarity.
I know the motion predictors are too high.
Organ grinder rounds are extremely rare. We won't be able to find this here.
No, we won't be able to get them.
Okay. We definitely could roll for the shields.
Yep, let's do that.
What is right now they're all still technically wearing standard trooper armor. Could we possibly upgrade their armor? I'm not looking at the right thing, but if we can't get the others, I don't remember what Carapace armor rarity is.
I'll take a look real quick.
I am back. A reminder.
Carapace is very rare, and he said very rare is out.
Very rare is out, as well as anything above company and best quality.
However, light Carapace is only rare.
That would make it available. Well, let me double check my notes. I want to double check my own phrasing. I think rare is okay, but I could be wrong.
And technically, the light Carapace is an improvement over flak.
Rare is okay. Very rare is not. So light Carapace, I believe it was, is available.
So let's try for the shields then, and some light Carapace armor. Did we want to any? So some of the other things that we had in mind are.
I'm also gonna. Rev, you good over there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you just disconnected
Yes.
from the table.
No, I didn't.
The suppression shields are also rare.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, not on my end.
Yeah, I don't see you in TTS either.
It says Rev Everest.
Yeah, I'm manually disconnected. I'm manually disconnected and I'm reconnecting.
Well, welcome back when you come back.
Huh, that's weird.
The table's gonna change. Bear with me for a second, guys. Work my way through all my files to find where my file is that I want.
So who wants to make the first roll to try and grab those shields? Because that's a pretty important part of their...
I can roll for the shields.
What's our profit factor at right now?
According to my sheet...
58.
Yeah, 58.
That's... Okay, hold on. That's not the right table. Ah, that's why. I used the wrong table. I see I did wrong. I'm dumb. There we go.
So the suppression shields are rare, and we're getting the company size.
Is that how it denoted it? I thought it was... Yeah. We're basically getting enough for our 3 squads and a couple extras if we want them for ourselves.
Well, 3 squads is like a small portion of a. If you want squad, or platoon would be more accurate. If you want for a few squads, that will actually give you a +10 modifier. If you want for a company, it's 0.
Right.
I think we can swing company since the availability difficulty is only rare.
Okay.
And this would get, I mean, obviously this would give you, this would give you on the order of like 3 to 5 platoons worth of gear if you go for the company size.
Mm-hmm.
So you have plenty of platoons and or plenty of spares. And yes, I realize the table's a little bit wonky because I changed the edges, or not the edges, the map
Knew what you meant.
display. Trying to clean things up a little bit while you guys go through, figure out what you want to do.
Well,
I'm going to get rid of some of these armsmans and stuff, though. We don't need those on the table. Reinhardt is laying down for some reason. That's weird.
That's odd.
It is odd that he would be laying down. Well, no, actually, maybe he's
He's-
like, I've killed all the
he's
orcs.
making-
I can take a break now.
I was going to say he's making gore angels.
Gore or spore.
Uh,
I've killed all of the orcs. Wow, I cannot do a German accent right now.
All right. At some point, Rev, I'll need the altogether super sheet again because mine, I don't know, expired. My PDF reader said this is not available anymore.
oh well, I think I sent it to you in a PDF. But it should just be an image file. But I found a copy of it that's not out of focus. For some, I had a couple copies that were really low res. But I found my high res copy, so give me just a second to send that to you.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Could you send that to the group?
Yeah, I'll just toss it in group chat if it will let me.
Okay.
This file size is too large now.
There it is.
There is a size limit.
So what kind of shields are we going for?
The suppression
are-
shields.
Yep. Technically, they can be used to stun enemies if they get too close, but the main reason we're getting them is because they can be held in conjunction with the primary weapon and not have a penalty to firing.
I'm guessing they like attach to the
Yes, they
the
clamp in,
forearm.
basically. No. There's basically a gun slot in the shield.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll make
looks
my
sort of
roll.
like a
I'm going to
those,
spend a fate point to get a +10 on it.
older Greek shields that had a like a
Cut out
divot
for
For
the
the
spear.
for the spear, yes.
What are you rolling for, and what's your target? Wow, that's a success.
The target
Immaterial.
at this point is immaterial. But we were going to go for company size, good quality suppression shields.
Okay. For the Acheron armsmen to be added to their war gear, I believe is the term.
Yes,
Mhm.
that
Why good
for-
and not great?
because best is unavailable.
Yes.
And also, there's no real
Oh.
the best crafted is the only time we'd see any benefit from it, and it would be minor, considering that they're technically a melee weapon and not on the tables and not a shield, not a piece of armor rather. If they were officially a piece of armor, we could say, hey Omar, if we got these in best crafted, we could have another point of armor, and he'd say, yeah, that makes sense. But at this point, he would probably argue, no, they're a weapon, and so the best crafted applies to the weapon bonuses.
All right, so for my notes, we have a company's worth of good quality suppression shields.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now, we are going to be decorating them for theming. Do you want, can we describe that now, or is it something you want us to do later?
Send it to me in Discord, and I will. And make sure you guys keep a copy of your details so you can reference them as needed. Because I'm going to be focused on making sure I add their stats to their models in TTS to account for the fact they have the suppression shields.
It's pretty basic, but I think rather than just sending to him, I'd like to talk about it on stream.
I mean, yeah, you can
It's-
definitely do that. I just can't promise I'm going to remember it more than 5 seconds.
So
It's
so-
page 123 of Into the Storm, if that matters to
That
you for
actually
reference.
super helps. Page 123.
Of the actual book, not of the PDF.
I can know that. Sometimes that makes a difference. Book page 123 of Into the Storm. Okay, so that's that.
The technical
Right.
words
So-
on it is the Tarsus pattern suppression shield.
Now we're going to have these suppression shields either like anodized or essentially painted a silver color as a reference to the silver shields, which are an elite unit out of history.
The Agasperides.
And they're going to have a motto for these newly formed units. And in a fancy scroll, like like the arching scroll for like a motto on the front of all of these shields, we would like it to say "A friend is always welcome."
Fuck off.
We would like it to say "A friend is always welcome" on the shield.
Do you want the words on the shield, or just that that's where the
No,
words
it's
are?
just that it's on the shield.
Got
The
it.
words are written on the shield.
In
I
Greek?
hate you so much right now, Rev. Fucking trolly motherfucker. Alright, what else we got for acquisition roll here, guys?
We've been planning that one for a while.
I couldn't tell.
Did we need anything else for the groups?
Well, given the availability of supplies, we had just talked about light carapace armor so that they have an upgrade. Does anybody want to roll for that?
And what is the target on that? It's 58.
That's rare
plus the
availability.
58, so that's gonna be, what is it, minus 20, I think? Let me look.
Rare is minus 10. So it takes it from a 58 to a 48.
Correct. And company is 0, and you're going for standard quality or common quality.
Hey, yeah.
Again, why wouldn't we go for the best quality we can get?
You can, well, the best you can get is good quality.
Good, and I don't believe good.
And it's another minus 10 if you do.
On armor, good quality gives 1 extra armor point to the first damage you take. So it's a negligible benefit.
Oh, wow, that really is kind of light.
Yeah.
Are you using a fate point to reroll that, Alterios?
Sure. I'll burn my last fate.
Well,
point.
before you burn your last fate point, other of us can roll. There's on the same thing.
This is true.
So
There's
I
just
don't.
the number,
Yeah, but
the
whether
number of
they're
total
rolling or
rolls
doing
is
that.
limited to the number of players, just to throw that out there.
So if I recall correctly, I'm trying to remember my numbers, but I don't think if we're just trying to roll for our 4 squads, I think that number fits under the size below company.
Yes, if you're going just for the 4 squads, that is a platoon that gives you a plus 10. It doesn't change the roll or the result of that roll, the 90 there, but
I know
it
it
does
doesn't.
change the total that you're. So you
But
would be rolling for a 58 overall.
The scale becomes minor instead of standard.
Correct.
Okay. So let's use that term instead of platoon and company just so that we all kind of get it straight.
Yep.
So I'm going to be rolling for a minor quality, and I'm going to be rolling for standard quality.
Minor, common quality.
Common quality, standard, or sorry, minor quantity.
Minor quantity,
Mhm.
common quality, rare
Rare.
modifier.
Yep. So your
Or
total
availability.
modifier puts you back to the 58. And then I'm
Right.
assuming that's for those light carapace, I think it was.
Yes.
Yes.
So 58.
Are we talking about the enforcer like carapace?
Correct.
Okay.
That is a success.
Okay.
Now you have a platoon's worth of common quality. What is it, armor exactly?
Light carapace.
Enforcer light carapace.
So it's a couple of points better armor than what they had, if I recall correctly.
And what book is that in? What page?
That's in the standard book, the core rule book. That is on, let me look it up real quick here.
I literally wrote
Page 138, again on the document, not in the PDF.
Yep. Core book page 138. For the stats. Okay, I believe we have, what, 2 rolls left? 3 rolls? We have
Yeah,
two
so
I
that
rolls.
gives
know
us-
I've got a roll.
Yeah, we have 2 rolls left. Wait,
Let me look at something real quick
I
because
cannot count for some stupid reason. I
'cause
think
we're
we have
I've
having
one roll
gone,
left.
Alturios is gone, and Rev has gone.
Yeah, so this is the last roll for Jace.
so Jace, is there something you want to get for yourself, or do you want me to try to come up with something for the group?
Is there something for the group already prepared, needed?
Everything that we had prepared for the group that was needed is disqualified by certain qualifiers of this planet.
Do you have a melee
Okay.
weapon that you could roll for, or is that limited or ruled out based on limitations?
What?
For this, we hadn't really considered a melee weapon for the squad.
Oh,
I'm thinking from the tabletop.
having bayonets wouldn't hurt.
Bayonets or some sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
I don't know,
What if we
power
went
sword
for
would be
just?
too much?
What if we just went for bayonets for the company or for the platoon?
We could do mono bayonets. That
That sounds badass. I don't know why, but that sounds so badass. This molecular level sharpness on a bayonet. Can you mount that
Well-
to what are they carrying? Auto stubbers or some shit? Storm?
Well, rules is written so you can mount bayonets on anything.
I won't argue with that. I'm down.
Mazoa grenade launcher, put a bayonet on it.
I believe the guards, the Imperial Guard, do have like really funky looking bayonets they do put on grenade launchers. It's because
Well-
many species like to get into melee, and so guardsmen without bayonets are like sitting ducks.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's basically an Ogren layout. Is I'll take a grenade launcher with a bayonet.
Yep, that sounds about right. I was just throwing the melee weapon out as an option. I don't know what the stats would crunch out as to whether or not you'd be able to roll for
I'm
it.
looking
Oh.
it up.
I'm not opposed to it.
what's that weapon add-on that, the motion detector or something?
That's too rare for this planet.
So
the motion predictor?
yes, the motion
That's very
predictor
rare.
is too rare for this planet. But knives are plentiful. So the bayonet itself is plentiful.
I thought
To
bayonets
give it-
was separate.
Oh, you're looking at the weapon upgrade particular.
You'd have
it
to get a
says melee
bayonet, then you'd have to
attachment.
get a bayonet with the mono whatever.
You slap these things together.
Yeah.
Is what you
Okay.
do.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
was saying. That's what I was
So there's the thing itself, the knife, is plentiful. The mono is scarce. And the melee attachment is also plentiful.
When you
So
say
we'd be rolling for a
plentiful,
scarce.
is that I'm not seeing that specific. Oh, never mind. I see it right there. It's plus 30.
So let me
When you're
just-
using
If-
modifier or add-ons or whatever the heck you want to call it, you go with the most common denominator of the particular.
I thought you went for the rarest, and then for everything you added on to it, it was like a +5 to difficulty.
You know
So
what?
it would be
That
it would
might
be a
be-
it would
That
it
might
would be a
more
sc-
accurate.
it would be a scarce +10 for the 2 other things, right? Warner, is that?
I'm
Combining-
looking
Wait.
for the box that talks about it.
Ah, yes. No, he's right. PDF 272, book page 271. On the right column, combining acquisitions. Some items can be upgraded or modified to combine 2 or more items together, such as las pistol with a red dot. Blah 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 blah. Each additional let's see. Use the greatest penalty. Determine the base availability modifier, and then each additional component then results in an additional -5 penalty.
So scarce
It's plus 30.
is the
Why did I just
Sorry,
get
0.
disconnected from the table?
I don't know.
It disconnected me 2 minutes ago, so
Oh,
maybe
me too.
I also got disconnected. That's fun.
That is weird. Wow, just me and Rev. I don't know what happened. It took a
Your
second for my
table is
computer.
not listed anymore.
I didn't do anything to the table.
I am refreshing the server list.
I'm gonna quit Tabletop Simulator and come back. See
Might
what
not be a
happens.
bad idea for all of you.
Fair enough.
I
Don't
don't know
forget
what
to
happened.
don't forget to save the table, Omar.
Uh, let's see. Game, save load, Warhammer, Vader.
Did you finish doing the math over there, Warner?
I'm sorry, I
Oh.
got distracted.
Understandably.
I just lost Rev. I better save this.
I quit out of the table manually just to make sure that when you restart the table, I'm ready. Because I'm assuming you're going to save the table and try to restart it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna drop all the way out of TTS. So I'll let you guys know when it's back up.
Did you try
So,
playing the Holy
it's-
Ungans?
What did you say? What did you say, Icarus?
Did you try playing the Holy Oils and Ungans?
I unfortunately I
Right,
ran
you
out
said-
of the holy unguents, the sacred unguent. Oh God, I can't even say it. Unable to sing. What is going on with my Steam cloud?
I think something went wrong with, Tabletop Simulator, because it said the same thing for me.
Yep, I got the same thing that it was unable to sync. There was a big Cloudflare server
All
outage
right. Yep, that's
yesterday.
probably what it is.
I'm gonna ask a dumb question. Does that mean you guys are not going to be able to reconnect?
No, it means that the table might be reset to the beginning of the session.
Well, I mean, I saved it prior to that. Unable
Yeah,
to
well-
create lobby, no connection. Try this again.
Do we want to pull up a third-party dice roller to conclude the acquisitions and finish the session off the tabletop, or do you want to wait?
I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Give me just a second. I think I have something in Discord.
Well, Tabletop Simulator just relaunched for me, so
Yeah,
Mine-
mine's not doing it, and I
mine's
don't
not
want to spend all
relaunching.
day. So, Darius,
Yes.
never mind. I found it. I found what I needed. I just need
Thanks,
to
Steam. Cloud error.
edit channel.
dang it, Cloud.
Permissions. Can add this channel. Where
I'm
is-
sorry. I just pictured an angry Omar with the caption "Old man yells at Cloud."
nice.
That's actually pretty funny. Okay, if you look in your Discord in the channels, you should see a channel called Dice Rolls. Darius, you should already see it. Well, maybe I took you out of the GTL group. I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Why was he in the Jim Tan Laundry group?
This was the Greylands Trios League that I ran. Like,
Why did you take? Oh, there it is.
I may have done it in one of my attempts to clean up my Discord server, because if you could see what my Discord server looks like compared to what you guys see of it, there's a lot of shit in there.
So what's the syntax we need to use? /R?
/R should work, yes.
/R tab.
/R
Do we?
Or space.
1D100.
Okay, so we do need to specify dice.
Yeah, I
and-
apologize. I should have clarified that. Yeah, so I just rolled 24.
Okay.
I'm assuming all 5 of us can see that.
Yeah.
I see you all in the people.
I am able to see your dice roll.
I'm sorry?
I am able to see your dice roll. Yes.
Correctamundo.
In that case, I believe we were trying to figure out how to roll for bayonets.
Yes. So if we get good quality bayonets,
Mm-hmm.
our total roll for the standard size availability, or not availability, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
The standard size acquisition will be -20.
Okay.
How does?
So that'd
So-
be a 38 as opposed to a.
Do you want to do
58.
a platoon's worth for now and maybe try to add to it later? Or do you want to roll against a 38 and see what happens?
I would think a platoon's verse would be all we need. And secondly,
Okay.
why are we getting good quality instead of common? I'm not sure.
So in melee weapons, which these are, good gives you a +5 to your weapon skill.
Okay.
That's nice. That's not bad. Why couldn't armor follow suit? -1 point of damage on your first bit of damage
Because the Grimdark is rocket tag.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know what exactly rocket tag means, but I just went with the
It
grimdark is
means
rude.
that attack beats defense almost every time.
Ah,
Things are very deadly. It wants there to be carnage in the grimdark.
that's fair.
I haven't heard that in a while. It's been since Halo since I've heard Rocket Tag.
I'm down with.
I
mean,
told
if
you
want to
before
roll
I
a
was an
38,
elder millennial.
Yeah.
if you want to roll a 38, by all means. This is up to you guys.
Again, for platoon size, we can go up
That's 48,
to
right?
a 48.
I'd be more comfortable with that. I mean, it would be nice for us to have
I mean,
mono bayonets
comfortable
and
with
everything.
spending a edge or a fate point to make it a 48.
Okay, if that's how you want to do it, instead of making a fate point to make it a 58, it's your dice roll, man. If you want to make it company size, or if you want to make it company size, so that we can have enough for ourselves to throw some on our weapons, go right ahead.
If you roll for a platoon, I will argue that the player characters can also have bayonets, but you guys already have melee weapons for the most much better than bayonets, if I'm not mistaken.
Look, I have 3 pistols. Why
I got
can't
a
I
ton
have
of
a bayonet?
guns. I'd love to put.
I'm not saying you
my
can't
gun.
have a bayonet. I'm just saying you can have a bayonet at the platoon level. I will allow. I'm not going to make you roll on the company just to get enough for the player characters to have one. That seems a little ludicrous to me.
My shoulder is now very stabby.
I'm just picturing your shoulder weapon spinning around and knocking your ear right off your head.
I have 6 basic class weapons
I
that,
feel
with
like
a
it-
bayonet, basically all become spears.
Now,
Yeah.
with these bayonets, are they mono bayonets or are they just standard bayonets?
Yes,
Mono.
this is mono.
Okay,
That's one of the things that made it.
gotcha.
Otherwise, we'd be rolling it like a 68.
Gotcha. Okay.
But mono allows us to go through armor and not be primitive.
Right.
So that's pretty important in my opinion.
Yeah, that checks out.
Okay, so spend a fate point.
So it's going to put you guys at, I believe it was 58 for a platoon with a fate point.
No, I'm doing the company size.
Okay. You don't have to do the company to include the player characters. That was what I was trying to get at.
Yes, but if we do company size, we're fit for the foreseeable future.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And is there any benefit to going to best?
Again, best is
Can
not
I go
available.
I know it's not available right now.
Oh, the Bennett. Oh, like generically?
Yes,
sure
there
for
is.
weapons.
It
I
goes
think it-
from +5 to +10.
Ooh.
But
Do we want to wait?
that changes the modifier from -10 to -30.
I will also argue this. A subsequent acquisition roll at whatever appropriate numbers will just automatically upgrade the ones you have, as opposed to acquiring new ones. If that makes any
Okay.
sort of sense. I mean, obviously you still have to roll against whatever the numbers might be at that time, but that also means you
Okay.
probably have more profit factor available too.
Yeah. All right. Then we'll go ahead and roll now for it.
Okay. 48 is your target number, if I'm not mistaken?
Correct.
Indeedly doodly.
I don't trust my memory. That's why I verify these things. That is a 52.
And
Would you like
I
to-
will be rolling again.
Of course you are.
Reduce my fate points. I still have 1 left. Not that it matters for this roll, but
This
So
world
obviously the
did
viewers
not
can't see
want
that.
to
His
give
first
it.
roll was a 52, which was a failure against a 48. His second roll and the final acquisition roll of the evening, a 99. I'm sorry, Darius. I guess it just wasn't in the cards after all to get you guys some pointy stabbies.
oh well.
It's fine.
Not yet.
You'll be able to at your next port.
The
assuming they don't have orcs
requisition
to throw
comes
at you,
back
too.
with like 50 tons worth of paper.
Oh, I just imagine someone somewhere was like, yeah, actually we could use all that scrap you guys pulled out of those orc caves. And then like 3 weeks later, oh, this metal is garbage. We can't give this to them.
we were playing
I'll
a
update
traveler
the.
game, and we're
Oh,
doing acquisition rolls like this, and someone fucked up because our DM said, well, if you fill out actual naval request
Oh
paperwork,
shit!
I'll let
Yeah,
you do it.
the
And
administrator would like to know your
he
location, sir.
fucked up the fucking form, so we got like 80 crates worth of like useless one-shot pistols.
Nice.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, I want to say that there is something that I'm just gonna kind of narrate this next sequence a little bit, but I want to say that by the time you guys are ready to leave the planet itself, uh, before you leave the planet and return to orbit with your two ships, uh, that you guys have there's some sort of a ceremony with Carl von Marek, and of course he offers to give the Lord Captain some sort of recognition, some sort of medal, in service of the people of Videmar. Even though obviously, the Lord Captain is the liege of Videmar, I think he feels necessary to recognize you and your people's efforts. And perhaps at some point he even asks, if there was any members of your command crew or your team that on the ground that deserved extra special recognition, that he would like to recognize them as well. And generally the theme and the feeling of overwhelming gratitude from Karl von Marek, for your intercession here and freeing this planet from the orc threat that has, at this point, essentially dominated them for a few years now. He also is curious to know who is going to be placed in charge of this planet so that he can resume his normal lieutenant governor adjutant duties. And if I know your answer, I'm just going to be amused.
Well, what happened to the current governor? Refresh my memory.
Okay, so the governor of record, let's say, when the orc threat remanifested several months ago, the actual governor ran away, screaming into the woods.
Is he still?
Ran away.
Now, are we talking?
He has never been found.
Probably orc
Okay.
food.
He's officially he is listed as missing, presumed dead.
Okay. Well, just in case, I issue an order that should he be found alive, it is a sign of cowardice and that he's a traitor and to be executed immediately.
To which Karl von Marek not only happily agrees, but will be more than willing to be the one to put the bullet in his face.
Secondly, I bring Reinhardt and the governor, lieutenant governor, into a meeting.
Okay.
I'll be happy to attend. Yes, my Lord Captain?
Yes, Lord Captain, how may I assist you? My German accent is abysmal, so I'm just going to speak normally.
Okay. Yeah, Lieutenant Governor, do you find it useful to say that you are the acting governor or the lieutenant governor and shift any pressures off of your office to the governor in absentia? Or do you find it more difficult not being able to issue orders with the full authority of the governor's office?
I feel that I perhaps should beg your forgiveness, Lord Captain, but I have been performing exactly as though I am the governor, not the lieutenant governor. I found that in order to execute the duties that I am responsible for, it was best to just say that I am the governor. Until you showed up, of course, by which I want to remind you, I did immediately admit to being the lieutenant governor and not the actual governor. I want you to know he's a bit nervous. He might be sweating a bit right now. He may even feel as though he may have done something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did just get pulled into a meeting with the Lord Captain's executioner.
Well, the arch-militant, which is almost synonymous, in his mind at least.
Mm-hmm. Has this pomp and circumstance ceremony been held yet?
Yes. This is At this point, we can argue
Well,
that maybe
I
you
would
know,
like this meeting to take place before said pomp and
Sure,
circumstance
absolutely,
ceremony.
absolutely. We can do this. This can be immediately before, or maybe a few hours or a day or two before.
This would be almost immediately on cessation of hostilities.
Okay. Oh, yeah. All right.
I say, I tell the governor that I find his answers acceptable for now, and if he would wait outside for a moment.
Of course, Lord Captain. He'll salute and then bow and then. No, that's too much. I was gonna be sarcastic and be like, he starts to curtsy and then realizes that's not him, and he just walks out. He's nervous as fuck. It's like his liege lord in front of him, and he's just admitted to, for all intents and purposes, personating an office that's not his to personate. Impersonate, I should say.
Well, there are battlefield lines of succession for a reason.
Yeah. But he's also aware that he's, depending on how one interprets that, he might be just as culpable as the governor that ran off. Because there's, I think part of it, and this is something he would have mentioned a few times at various other points throughout the last several weeks, is that he is concerned that some of his own conduct may be questionable in the eyes of an external reviewing party, because he's arguably perhaps impersonating a higher office than his own. The combat or the orc threat has risen under his watch, and he has not been able to stem it of his own accord. All of this he has freely admitted to without saying he's the bad guy or he's the one responsible, but that's kind of like, in his mind, he feels like he's got like imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of this has probably been conveyed over, multiple conversations over several weeks.
I turn to Reinhardt and I say, in your military experience, do you feel like the commander or the lieutenant governor has fallen short of his duties?
I would not say that he has fallen short of his duties. I would say that the man has acted with surprising grace under pressure.
That's another thing on Thanksgiving.
As a man who is not versed militarily, he acquitted himself with bravery and quite well, holding out until we could make our way in and help.
I concur with your assessment of the situation. I do have one further question. Is this a world that you would like to rule?
Reinhardt will stop, and you can kind of hear the gears grinding in his head.
It would possibly mean additional orcs to kill in your leisure time once you are no longer regularly in my service.
Mine captain, on the one hand, I had hoped for perhaps a cushier world, but on the other hand, having the world that I have actually helped rid of orcs has a certain sentimental value to it. I would give you a provisional gratitude if this is your will to give me a world. I will of course take it, and be quite content. However, I do think that you likely have need of my services for a while longer.
Well, if you were to be given stewardship of this world, in fact, the Lieutenant Governor would continue running the day-to-day while you're in my service, and you would take over the regular running of this in your self-assumed retirement, as they say. But
I would find that to be very generous, my Lord Captain.
What if you wish to postpone your decision in search of a cushier world, as you say, possibly one with beachsides and bikinis?
That would be lovely.
And much less orcs.
Then perhaps we could tell the Lieutenant Governor that he is being given a provisional governorship status with the possibility of reviewing his continued leadership upon further review in the future.
Ah, dangles a dynastic governorship in front of him and see if he rises to the occasion, then.
And give you the option to take over the world with a capable lieutenant if you wish.
I am truly humbled, my Lord Captain. That would be lovely.
Very well, and I call the well, actually, I'm going to sneak over to the door and whip it open to see if the Lieutenant General has his ear to the door.
No, in fact, he's a few paces away from the door, standing at something resembling parade rest at ease.
So he sees me whip the door open awkwardly.
He sees you, and worse, he sees the door more than he sees you. But he doesn't, like, he looks over because, motion attracts the eye, but otherwise doesn't really respond until you actually call for him.
Yes, I call him back into the room.
He comes back in, closes the door behind him, moves to stand between the two of you, or, respectful distance and all
Now,
that.
I have briefly discussed something with Reinhardt. As the door is shut with the Lieutenant Governor in here, I make a gesture and Reinhardt stiffens as if to pull out a weapon, should he so desire to be in on the joke.
You guys are going to give this guy a fucking heart attack, man. He's already ramped up. Do you ready a weapon?
I was going to say,
I will not ready a weapon, but I will.
Okay, fine.
I will loom.
Okay.
Red gaze and all.
I say, Lieutenant Governor, we have come to a decision about your actions.
He will assume the closest thing that he understands is to a position of attention and says, "Yes, my lord."
We found that with the resources that you have had available, you have done the best job one can under such circumstances. Therefore, on a provisional status, I am naming you governor of this planet in my realm, to be reviewed at a later date to evaluate your performance for permanent governorship status or revocal of such title.
I don't want to interrupt, so if there's more, please continue.
No, that was...
He obviously goes through a couple of different facial expressions. Like, first off, he's trying to keep his face as stoic as possible, but he's also, expecting the worst and suddenly being told what could only amount to being the best. So there's a play of emotions on his face, and then finally, after probably 5 or 10 seconds, he goes to a knee. He takes a knee, and ceremoniously takes a knee. He says, "My lord, I serve at your pleasure. What you
Very
have
good.
for me, I will execute to the best of my capabilities."
In the name of the Emperor, may you do the most with the limited resources you have here, as you did with the limited troops you had on the battlefield.
I thank you, my lord captain. Actually, he'd probably just call you my lord, because to him, you're not his captain. You're just his lord. But yeah, he would just, "Thank you, my lord. I serve at your pleasure, and I will do the best I possibly can."
Tell me, are there any of the governor's family still in residence upon the planet?
Some of them have survived, yes. But my lord, I would argue that it's not on them for their family members' failures.
How close of a family?
No more or less than any other, I suppose.
No, any direct descendants?
I think he had a son, but he was listed as one of the casualties in the most recent operation.
If it is found not to be so, if he has survived the action, I ask that on the soonest available resource ship, he be sent to the home or to my capital to be enlisted as an orphan in the officer training program. Perhaps he can redeem his father's name. But I wish him not to be on the planet to challenge whomever does officially receive the permanent governorship.
As you wish, my lord.
I do believe that we have operations to get to. I was informed of enemy operations on several planets, but one appears to be the main one. Distractionary forces can be dealt with later, now that we know that the primary enemy aggression is on, it starts with a T, what was the world?
Teslock.
Now that we know that the primary enemy action is on Teslock,
Actually, I may have fucked that up, but I got you. Go ahead. Continue, please.
I issue to Lieutenant Governor.
But I know it's wrong.
I issue orders to Lieutenant Governor for a replenishment of whatever spaceborne supplies or supplies we might need to replenish our food and ammunition, and we prepare to go on our way.
Very well.
I don't believe we suffered.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't believe we suffered very many casualties, so I don't think we need to borrow from any of this planet's limited troop capability to be at full.
Yeah, when you think of bodies, you might have lost a couple somewhere along the way. You've definitely lost a handful of troopers, at least in some of the final battles. But
yeah.
Overall, bodies are fairly easily replaced. Otherwise, you didn't lose you didn't lose nearly enough to be like, I'm going to take half of your fighting force with me because I need to replenish my losses. Like you're not at that level. With
it's
that,
it's enough that it can be replenished through normal replenishment.
Through your normal procurement. With that, you go through whatever ceremonies that continue, and obviously the
before we leave the room,
yes,
Reinhardt would give him a big hearty slap on the back and tell him, make the most of this opportunity. Who knows what happens in the future?
What's Reinhardt's strength?
My strength is quite high. 60. Yeah,
so when you give him this hearty clap on the back, one, he's not expecting it, and two, he's not exactly a large man either. He's not frail. So he actually
I'm not
stumbles a few steps.
Yeah, I'm not trying to lay him out. Just...
Yeah. This is almost just entirely from the fact that you caught him off guard. And so he takes like 2 or 3 steps to catch himself. It looks like one of them was because he had to spend a fate point to get the second one. I'll put it that way. But yeah, he will, shake your hand and say thank you, and kind of repeating himself a little bit, but he's gonna hit you with, I serve with the pleasure of the Lord Captain, and I will do my best as always. Mm-hmm. In the name of the God Emperor. Blah 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 blah. Before we transition to the next scene, I have a question for Alterio.
Yeah.
Possibly Rev as well, but previously, there was concerns about what amounted to some sort of Wi-Fi signal aboard the ship that was active while in the warp. You guys remember this?
I thought it was related to the device we were transmitting or translating, which we no longer have.
Correct. My question is this. There was a counter field generated. Icarus had created this a way to create a resonance that would cancel out that Wi-Fi signal, for lack of a better thing to call it. Is that still active, or has that been turned off since the device that you...
Well, considering we know there's more devices, I don't see why we would have disabled it.
Okay.
It'd be inefficient to take it down if we had to put it back up, and I don't know how many things there were, so unless I was told to take it down...
Okay.
I'm not
in that case, our next scene is on the Acheron's ferry. This is... Your ships have... the Acheron's ferry and the Parallels have departed the planet, but you are still in transit to more or less far enough away from the planet to enter warp. So you've got, a few days yet before you are that far out. This is an opportunity for a staff meeting where in character you guys can interact and plan the next step, where the next destination is, etc. Also in attendance to this meeting is Anastasia Mercator, your your navigator, and a man who has assumed the duties of Marcellus Thale that you have met a few times and interacted with a few times on the way here, but he's not really appeared on screen yet. He is a kind of a dark-ish skinned man, dark hair and eyes. His hair is swept back, like just straight brushed back, Very little facial hair. Yes.
You should be able to get tabletop sim back up now.
Okay. I don't know how much longer we're going to be going because we might be moving into a transition point. So let's see if I turn it back on or not.
Yeah, but it would be
Oh,
nice
you
to
know what?
the planets.
Yeah, that would be helpful for the visual aid there. So let me see what happens. As I describe this man, where Marcellus Dale was kind of a taller guy, this guy is probably about 5'8". His name is Junko Bar. It's spelled with a J, by the way, the German J. That sounds really weird when I put it like that, but
Yunko.
yeah,
Yeah,
Junko
yeah.
Bar and Barr. He is your new what's the word I'm looking for? Seneschal. He, much like Marcellus, the table's back up, by the way. Much like Marcellus Dale, he carries a satchel. And in that satchel, of course, is a data slate along with various other writing implements and small hand-sized tools. Anybody else in attendance? Besides, obviously, I would imagine the normal people are in attendance, but if there's any other characters you would like Cassian Ander, perhaps.
I would probably ask the navigator if any of the heretical objects we have obtained as proof of House Hanet's treachery and being in league with Xenos and the Warp has any relevance to her. Like if she has any additional information about these objects.
Do you like array them like in front of her and hey, do these things mean
Basically.
anything to you or something like that? She looks them over. Wait a second, I just realized I needed another file open. What's there? What's there?
Gosh, Hanet.
Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's in that folder. Son of a bitch. And I need that one.
Almost there.
Okay.
Stay on target.
You know what? I'm actually gonna let's make her roll. She's gonna roll Cynicians. That's it. Yeah, okay. Is everybody else spending fate points? I want to spend a fate point. Get the degree of success. Do you include the ritual knife?
Obviously.
Okay. Yeah. When she puts her hand on it, she doesn't actually physically touch it, but she kind of waves a hand over it, kind of like she's pointing at this, points at this, points at that, points at this, points at that. She does that, and when her hand passes over the ritual knife, she snatches her hand back immediately, and she's like, yes, this is definitely warp taint. I don't like the way this feels at all. At the risk of being rude, Lord Captain, please remove these items from. Whoever had these items was deeply troubled. Actually, no, that comes out more like whoever had these items was deeply troubled. Tell me I didn't just lose Rev.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
I said corrupted.
Corrupted. Yes, that's certainly a word. Was there a reason you asked me this, Lord Captain?
These were objects recovered from a agent who appears to have been in service to House Hanet, working in conjunction with the Orks.
Agent of House Hanet, a known enemy of your own house, conspiring with Orks and
chaos.
Warp.
Conspiring this chaos.
Controlling
the Orks?
Yeah.
One certainly does not control the Warp. And she looks directly at Winter, who also kind of like, despite her blindness, has a similar look of, yep, nope, that's right, you don't control the Warp. You barely conspire with it. It's more of a tentative agreement at the very best. It's yes. This would not bode well for House Hanet in any way, shape, or form. Colluding with not only the enemies without, but the enemies beyond.
Yes.
Actually, well, within is heresy, right? The enemies within references heresy. Is that right? Warner, I feel like you would be the one to know that one. The enemies within, the enemies without, and the enemies beyond. I'm
not familiar with
don't-
that terminology in the
Yeah.
scope of.
It
I mean,
sounds
it
right.
sounds right,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
not familiar.
So the enemies within would be heresy and whatnot. The enemies without would be Xenos, and the enemies beyond would be warp and chaos and daemons and things of that nature. It kind of alludes to the three primary branches of the Inquisition: the Ordo Xenos, Ordo Heretic, and Ordo.
Malleus.
Thank you. I could not think of that
Yes.
word. But yes, a lot of like Rogue Trader, Death Watch, and Only War, when they set up their allies and adversaries chapters for like the stats for NPCs, they kind of break their sections down into those three: the enemy within, the enemy without, and the enemy beyond. Anyway, yeah, but yeah, that's what she says, is that, House Hanet colluding with. In fact, actually, what she ends up saying after kind of mumbling her words a little bit and kind of thinking it through, she ends up saying, yes, it would appear that House Hanet colluding with the enemies without, and even the enemies beyond, would that not make them the enemy within? The Imperium, I suppose. That's so the Van Breeze domain. It would seem, Lord Captain, you have found your nemesis.
One of them, yes.
I think she rolls her eyes. The two that you could see, anyway. When you say one of them. Rarely be the prey so haughty as the hunter, she mutters under her breath, as she moves away from these accursed objects and takes her seat at what I would imagine is some form of ornate conference table.
I hold the knife in my hand, I put the medallion around my neck, and I say, behold, no kidding.
I really hope you don't do that, because like, the next thing that she would do is third eye opens. Followed by requisitioning a new Lord Captain.
Roll for initiative.
Exactly. The unfortunate problem is all of you would have to roll against that eyeball opening up.
Well, so far in this campaign, we've had 2 rogue traders die at Videmar. If I had a nickel for every time that happened.
You'd only have 2, but it's weird that you have 2. But yeah, so she takes her seat, and I think Yoko Bar is standing up near the head of the table, not in any position of authority, but just more because he feels like that's his place as your seneschal. You have met him on an informal occasion at least once, and probably a couple informal, as far as like staff meetings or, during your acquisitions, for instance, especially the ones you just went through, you would have done some coordinating, if not for the actual materials themselves, then the payment for said materials, you would have had to coordinate with him to some degree. So you've interacted with him before. There is something a little, I don't want to say off, that precludes a bit too much, but he does seem to commonly have a low-grade headache and frequently mentions it offhanded.
I would ask him when this started.
I'm sorry, Lord Captain, you were saying something?
Yes. When did your headaches start?
Oh, sometime.
Was it before or after embarking on the ship?
Oh, you mean when did the headaches themselves begin?
Yes.
I fear I may have been plagued with them for much of my existence. A Side effect, perhaps, of varying atmospheric conditions between here and the home world. Omar's Prime, of course. I'm referring to... He's referring to Omar's Prime. I realized it was so. Let me explain what happened. So he said it that way, and I didn't mean anything by it. But as soon as I said it, Darius, who had just disappeared off of his Zoom camera, suddenly pops in. He was like, "The fuck did he just say?" He had that look on his face, and whether it was intentional or not, and I'm like, "That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant." But yes, so yes, Lord Captain, I fear that I've had these headaches for some time. Perhaps some minor difference or inconsistency between the atmosphere setting or the environmental settings here on board ship versus what I was accustomed to on the planet back home.
So it has he been experiencing? To be clear, are you experiencing headaches as soon as you've been on board ship, or did the headaches start? Has it been something you've had to deal with on a more continual basis?
It comes and goes, Lord Captain.
That is not an answer to my specific question.
Perhaps I misunderstood your question.
Are these headaches these sporadic headaches, something that started when you came on board the ship, or have they been a longer issue that you've had to deal with?
I think since coming aboard, Lord Captain. It's no matter, please. I don't want you to fret anything over this.
I do fret, Seneschal. I wish for you to check with your command staff and confer that there are no other groups of individuals reporting similar headaches. We have recently had an object of great power that was passed on into an Inquisitor, and I wish to see if it has had a lingering effect upon the ship.
I see. I will make arrangements with our medical facility. That he wouldn't say facility, with our chief medical officer, who I think we gave him a name, but I don't remember it now. We have a doctor aboard the ship, obviously.
Yes. Well, forget the doctor. As soon as he's out of earshot, I'm immediately going to my astropath and my navigator and saying, I believe frequent headaches can be a sign of someone who is plagued by a connection to the warp, yes?
It's certainly a symptom, but that's like saying sneezing is a symptom of a variety of maladies, Lord Captain. And I think that's the general consensus you get from both of them.
Yes, well, I'm going to tell both of them just to preclude that our current Seneschal doesn't have some latent connection to the warp that he's unaware of, that both of them check him out and make sure they don't sense any sense of warp taint, good or bad, on the man.
So you want Sinitians rolls effectively, is what I'm understanding. Unless there's a specific power you want Winter to use.
I don't want them to go chasing him down. I want them to, as surreptitiously as possible, while they are in his presence, see if he has an intentional or unintentional connection to the warp.
Sure. Well, did you just dismiss him to go see the doctor right now, or after the meeting is sufficient? And he asked
like I said, This quite the thing that I just said would be after the meeting.
I got you.
But to him, the only order I've given as far as like in the pre-meeting period is I would like a report as soon as possible if these headaches are spread out amongst the members of the crew, or whether you find that they're unique to you.
Okay. Yeah. No, he actually is physically left the room, goes down several decks, goes down to the medical bay and checks in with I don't know what. Oh, he would be the chief chirurgeon. It's probably what they would call him in Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, yes. Well, it would be after the meeting, but anyway.
Okay, yeah. At any rate, in that case, then yeah, he would still be there, and I will check after the meeting, Lord Captain, and then proceed to let you talk about whatever you want to talk about. Navigator probably has questions like, where to next? Don't forget, we wanted you to check out Taslak as a favor to our house. Something weird there abounds. Abides. No, abounds. I don't know what you would say.
Right. Now, is Taslak outside or inside of my domain? Because
it is one of your worlds. There's also I'm sorry, let me rephrase this. So Taslak 5 is yours. In fact, if you look at the map in TTS, the only world on there that is not, it's actually 2, is Alpha Heneti. I'm sure you can figure out from how grammar works that that's not yours. And then Repton 4, which is actually one of the worlds on the map for the Koronus Expanse.
I thought Repton 4 was where our relay station was.
It is where your relay station is.
So it is ours.
Actually, no, I take it back. It's Acheron.
Okay. What was the other production world that that we were saying was having issues with Halask
Yes, Halas
or
3.
Omars.
So, okay, so, and I think
We
there's
had
some-
reports. We had reports that 3 of our production worlds were all having issues.
Yes, Videmar, Halask 3, and Taslac 5.
Okay.
Those have all had various issues. The Taslac 5 was more of a, until recently, it was more of a, hey, could you go check things out because something's up. And that was a request from House Mercator through your Navigator Anastasia. Halas
Right.
3, I forget exactly what it was, but there was some sort of indication that there was some sort of problem going on, but there was not a lot of details.
There was a disruption of protection from Videmar, Halask, and I'm guessing Omaris that you told us about.
No.
Because I thought
Omaris
you
is
mentioned
fine.
I thought you mentioned that we had 3 worlds that had shown reduced production that we needed to go visit.
There may have been a little confusion, and it's also been, at this point, literally a few months since we last discussed the overall situation.
At least a year.
It may even be I'm misremembering and not remember where all my notes are, but this is what I know. Regius is your capital. Everything's fine. In fact, at this point, Marcellus Thale is the governor of the world. Omaris, that's your breadbasket / some minor production of something else. I don't remember off the top of my head. But that's your agro world. For all intents and purposes, the only issue you might have there is the shuffling of the different houses. Oh, I know what it was. There was a change in the amount of what they were able to fulfill in the tithe. But I think we resolved that with figure it the fuck out and fix it. Because it wasn't necessarily a major, problem as it was a minor issue, but it was a systemic thing that just I forget exactly what it was off the top of my head, but it was something that could easily be fixed. It was just going to take somebody with dedicated effort. And you, if I remember correctly, you basically said, hey, you're the leadership of the house, take care of that world, take care of it, fix it, unfuck it. It wasn't, narratively speaking, for our campaign, it wasn't meant to be a major thing. It was just to be a kind of a, not necessarily a red herring, but, sometimes not everything runs smoothly. And it was supposed to be an indication of that. Videmar had the orc problem. Halas 3 has a different problem that has not yet been identified specifically. And as we have found out, well, let me rephrase that. Before dealing with the orcs, Anastasia Mercada had gone to you and said, hey, my house wants us to check out Taslac 5 at your earliest opportunity. Please and thank you. Since dealing with the orcs, you've learned that there is actually something going on Taslac 5 that involves House Hanet, and that actions on Videmar and actions on Halask were intended to be distractions to use up your resources to keep you from discovering what was going on Taslac. So you have something going on Halask that you're not aware of at this point in time. You know there's something there, but you don't know what it is, and you don't know what the breadth or depth of it is. You also know that what appears to be your current mortal enemy, Davros Hanet, Lord of the Hanet House, doing something, unsure what, on Taslac 5. That's a lot to take in. So if you need me to clarify anything, please, anybody, let me know.
So,
I want to point out, before you come up with any sort of response, I will point out one small thing that occurred when you were last on Footfall. I believe you last time you were on Footfall. You were on Footfall at some point, and you had gone into the, for lack of a better thing to call it, the not human quarter. Or maybe it was less Imperium than the rest of the station, which is kind of difficult to say because the whole station's not Imperium. There was a rumor of an ice-cold woman that had hired all of the mercs, especially the crew. The crew are known as mercs. They're a race of Xenos, kind of a humanoid type creature, an intelligent alien race that often serves in human space as mercenaries of a sort, known for eating their dead. Not entirely cannibalistic, but anyway. So the crew and whatever other free mercs had been available were more or less rounded up and hired off by a woman that, if you think about it, actually fits the description of the woman that you just killed on Videmar, minus the fact that she had 3 arms. I'm giving you that one for free because I like you guys and I like this game.
Well, I already figured that out.
I'm sure you did, but I'm giving you the more details. Now, what you do with all that information and how you piece it all together on this map, it's probably fairly easy to figure out where the Crude are.
Mm-hmm. I already figured the Kroot with the Hallis distraction since you hadn't narrowed that down. Because I would assume that House and Net would use whatever their more reliable, loyal forces were for the primary operation on Taslak.
Yep.
However, the ceremony that we had on Planet, I would make sure to have all of my titles read out, and I would ask what this award is called.
That's a good one. I may have to get back to you on that one. I don't know if I can shit out an award name that fast. Let's call it the Order of the Purple Star.
I already have a star medal.
Okay, the Order of the Purple. No, hold on. Well, so one thing you may or may not recall: the star Videmar is a purple star, which is an unusual color for stars. It is typically associated with the warp and everything, but there's no actual warpy malevolence going on in the system, other than obviously, you had orc problems and a mad psyker bitch. But so you might have a star already, but this provisional governor is going to insist that you receive this Order of the Purple Star because it is only awarded to those of exceptional birth and recognizes not so much their station, but the fact that they live up to the ideals typically espoused by such stations. In other words, lords that actually do lordly things effectively. As opposed to lords like, if you look at the Inner Sphere, where everybody's like, I'm a lord, I'm a lord, I'm a lord, buy me battle mechs, go attack the neighbor.
What are battle mechs?
Fuck you! I'm making
what I'm talking about.
I'm making my own mercenary company.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what this, and it's not an award typically given out very often either because of the requirements and stipulations.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
he's going to be a bit insistent that you take this Order of the Purple Star.
Okay, that's fine. It's on the list.
So now you have a gold star and a purple star.
No, the other is just recipient of the Calixtus Star.
Well, that's different. That's a specifically named star.
Purple.
Purple Nurple? Purple Drink?
Are we losing people or are people joining? I just heard
I just popped
That
in.
was Warner returning.
Okay, good. So I'll get up back to the ship.
Yep.
Getting up in front of and say, all right, men and ladies, I'd like to present a plan of battle and a speech.
Wait, say that one more time? I missed something there.
I'd like to present a plan of battle and a speech.
Okay.
I'd say we know the enemy is on 2 planets. We know that one is a distraction and one is the primary thrust. Therefore, we are proceeding to Taslak 5 and we will kill the enemy. That is all. And I sit back down.
There's murmuring amongst some of your junior staff. It wasn't my speech.
Well, the whole point, Omar, was that I have said long-winded speeches before.
No, I know. The navigator looks up, and I don't recall specifically what her navigator rituals bullshit that she's supposed to go do. I think it has to do with sacrificing something and painting in blood. I'm not entirely sure. It's something weird. She stands, leans on her staff of office slightly, looking directly at you, and says, if you intend to head to Taslak 5, Lord Captain, by your leave then, may I begin the preparations?
Absolutely. At all haste, without taking any undue precautions.
Very well. I will inform the ship and crew and yourself when we are ready to enter the warp. And she kind of pauses and thinks. You see her head kind of tilt slightly to one side. Probably 2 or 3 days.
Attention crew, we are jumping with a delicate.
Perfect. The only thing that could have been better if he did it is Glenn Quagmire.
Giggity!
Yeah, throw a giggity entering the warp. Giggity!
Giggity, giggity, goo.
As a final moment,
I like where this is going.
as a final moment for our episode, we do see Yunko Bar in his quarters, standing in front of his bathroom sink, staring at himself in the mirror. Except not really staring at himself so much as he's standing there like this, with his head between his hands, staring into the mirror. Get it? Under control. 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 And the screen goes black. And you may now take 400 experience points.
And this is something that neither my navigator or my...
They have not yet reported back to you yet. I will have more information for you next session. That cutscene or whatever was for the viewer's sake, not for the players. You don't know that yet. You don't know that he's having moments of doubt inside his head.
Don't know what.
Exactly. Go ahead and take your 400 points of experience.
Hooray!
Caiaphas came here while the Imperium.
So 400, that should put us at somewhere around like hold on, let me do the math.
I want to say you've earned easily a full 1,000 since coming to the system. It probably
Unless
closer to
my
2.
math is wrong, that would put our total at 12,600.
Oops.
That sounds right.
Wow, I haven't added. Well, I do have a bunch to add. Okay. What did I give you guys last week? Or not last week, but last session was like 500, right?
Yes.
Because for the battle.
So 12,600, right?
That's the total as far as my math works.
I'm at 12,450, so that should be right.
That's right. And there was a while where Anastasia was only getting half XP because she wasn't on the ground with you guys all the time. I see where I'm at. Okay. And then Yunko Bar gets 400. Okay. Cool. Let's talk about next week, Wednesday. The day before Fat Turkey Day. Fat Turkey Eve, if you will. Are we available, or do we have family commitments or other things going on that will get in the way of playing next week? It's okay, either answer.
So that will be on the... Let me look at my calendar real quick. So that will be on the 26th?
Correct. And Thanksgiving is the 27th.
Right, it is. So if I have my math correct, I will be getting back into town on the 26th, and I will have a guest, but I will try to let everybody know if the guest wants to sit over my shoulder and make jokes about the things that we're doing, or if the guest would rather have my undivided attention.
Well, considering your guest sounds like it's Sunkite, I think she's going to want your undivided attention. However, I believe she has a sense of humor, so she may be talking shit through the episode. So that might be just as entertaining as the episode itself.
Well, considering that she'll have me for at least a 3-hour car ride, she may also want a little space, or she may just want a nap.
That's it. I need some space after every one of these sessions, so I definitely understand that.
Omar, come to my Discord afterwards, so I've got something to talk about.
I hope that's not for real. I feel like I just got called to the principal's office.
I may have to pass since, I help out with dinner, and I don't want to be sleep deprived and staying up till
Listen, if we can't make next week work, that's totally fine.
That's fine.
I'm all right with that. And if we want to err on the side of
not.
deal with it.
I think.
God damn it!
What?
I think erring on the side of caution is wise.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know.
mean, given Fat Turkey Day, like that makes perfect sense. So let's
It's
look at
not
the
like it's
following week.
Christmas Eve, guys. Come on.
Let the turkey have his day.
Yeah, exactly.
That is what I tell my children every year
Yep.
when the Christmas decorations start coming up other places, and they're like, "Why can't we do Christmas decorations?"
Because we do Fat Turkey Day first.
And I say, "Let the turkey have his day."
Well, we have not historically in this household been an external decorations household, more of an internal decorations household. And
Same.
in recent years, we have acquired several porch ornaments. And I noticed that all the neighbors were putting out decorations, and I mentioned to my family, I was like, hey, we can go ahead and put out the porch ornaments, I guess. And they're like, no, it's not even Thanksgiving yet. And I'm like, okay.
Fair enough. Let's do some outro feedback comments. We'll start with Warner.
I had fun.
That's the best feedback comment I can ever have. Sorry, go ahead.
Also, I appreciate that we actually got together. I know that things have been a little hit and miss. And obviously next week we have just decided to forego. But wanted to say that things seemed to be well planned and laid out, and everything seemed to move along just fine, with the brief exception of us going, "Hey, where did the availability table thing go?" So everything went very smoothly, and yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know, I will point out, I know the battle stuff that we did tonight was probably, from your guys' perspective, a little bit sketch, for lack of a better word. I had an idea.
It was clean
in my
up.
head. What's that?
It was clean up. I get the abstraction.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, that was the point, right? Was to, you guys already did the main boss fight. I'm not gonna have you, like, you've already killed the king of the undead. I'm not gonna have you fight all the skeletons. Like, that seems kind of, you know,
Redundant.
something about horses and carts. I don't know if that's actually an appropriate phrase, but regardless, I figured, like, okay, let's just do simple. You know, we gotta have at least a little bit of a challenge / threat. So we'll just do basic opposed rolls, and wow, you guys had like a 2-to-1 ratio on the target numbers before you added any modifiers. So it's like, all right, well, fuck it. I mean, the orc's gonna die. It's just a matter of time. Well, actually, as it turns out, time was important because there's a reason, and I'm not getting into all that as far as the time. There's a reason why I've been keeping track of the time beyond just my what I want to use.
Accounting.
Yeah, there's more to it than just generic accounting of time. So there are things in movement. There are things in motion in the background. I'll put it that way. But yes, thank you. I'm glad it went. I'm glad it appeared to be running smoothly from one portion to the next. I certainly tried to keep it moving forward because there was not so much that I was trying to end the segmentum tonight, but it was definitely a very real possibility. So
I don't think I could have handled however many more on-table battles that would have been. No.
That when I first came up with this whole campaign, not this whole campaign, this particular orc segmentum, it was going to be a lot of the actual on the table fights. But then I realized once we got into that big fight, even with it being the big fight, wow, this is taking a long fucking time. And had we done it, had you guys been doing the other battles, had you guys done the other battles first before doing the big battle, it would have taken a dozen weeks or more to get to this point, you know?
It's not like I don't like the game or anything, but I'm sick of fighting Orcs. Can you just invite me when we're done?
Exactly. So I'm glad, in a way, you know, looking back over this segmentum in particular, I'm glad you guys kind of jumped the gun and went straight for the head. And then we, you know, obviously we had to have a little bit of cleanup. I made it interesting. I tried to make it interesting. So, but yeah, this is the final episode of Segmentum 3rd. Next session will be Segmentum 4th. Something task lock, something dark side.
Was Segmentum 3rd just Videmar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you'll indulge me for a moment, a brief rabbit trail. You said something that brought this to mind.
Okay.
So a Clydesdale walks into a bar. And the bartender says, "Hey, do you want a beer?" And the horse responds, "I think not," and promptly disappears. Admittedly, this joke only makes sense if you're familiar with French Enlightenment philosopher René Descartes, who famously said, "Cogito ergo sum," or
Yeah.
"I think, therefore I
Yeah.
am."
Yep.
But
Think
if
not.
I had explained that first, that would have been putting Descartes before the horse.
No.
Wow, that was a really long way to get to the pun, but appreciable. Even better was Altarius in the background. Speaking of Altarius, what do you have, sir, for feedback, outro comments?
I liked the skirmish thing, or the sort of RTS moving people on board and just saying, "Oh, you're dead." That reminds me a lot of I can't remember that war game's name. There's a couple war games. Yeah, that, and then there's a couple other tabletop war games that they're just like, "Oh, well, you lost the dice roll. Those guys are all dead."
Yeah. I think that was part of my initial. At some point, one of my considerations for how to conduct this overall war game was a couple of opposed rolls, and then whoever wins gets that dot, and then there's a movement phase. But I started like trying to write it out. I was like, that's getting complicated. It's getting complicated because I overthink everything. And so then that's why I was like, fuck it, we'll fight it out, and I gotta find some way.
Do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live, and then try to keep it from being too terribly repetitive. So it really did work out, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, that you guys decided to go for the head right off the bat. It really did, and I hate to keep beating that drum, but I think that saved this segmentum from being just monotonous bullshit over and over and over. And oh my god, why are there so many orcs? Why are there so many fucking orcs? Because that's what an orc horde looks like, and I wanted to make it look real, but sometimes my intent with reality is a little too much.
I appreciate it.
The answer to why are there so many effing orcs is always because they're orcs.
Yes, that's exactly it. And one of the things you guys didn't encounter as far as player knowledge was that for each orc figure on the board was at least an orc squad or two or four. Like the individual orc fights would have been, so the big boss fight, you guys were looking at something like between 60 and 75 orcs altogether. Each one of those major points on the map was at least 15 to 30, and then incrementally larger the deeper you got into orc territory, so that you would end up with the 60 to 75 orcs you'd have to wade your way through in the big boss cave fight. Again, I hate to belabor a point, but I think this point should be belabored. I'm so glad you guys went for the head, because that changed the direction of the entire segmentum and made it a lot better. Darius, what sort of feedback outro-y bits do you have as you continue your fight with a long night?
Well, Persephone says hi.
Hello, Persephone.
Hi there.
Hello.
I've been petting her on and off throughout the game.
Yeah, she's good for that. Also, she's apparently better at veterinary costs than my cat, but we don't need to talk about that.
Yep. And
I also imagine your cat's not epileptic either. So.
No.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just dropped another $90 on this fucking animal.
Ooh.
That was for the medication.
You spent another $90 on little seizures?
No. Oh, wow. Really? Really? Yes, fundamentally I did. But Darius, please, some feedback before I choke Rev out with death stares. That sounded weird, but whatever.
Enjoyed the session. Enjoyed the fact that we're back together. A little disappointed that we're not playing next week, but it is what it is.
It just means we're Star Citizen time for me.
Now I have no reason to give thanks.
No, Omar, you can't play. No.
What? You don't like that I'm just going to be playing Star Citizen?
Star Citizen.
I don't like the fact that you're participating in a Ponzi scheme.
It's only a scheme if you actually pay into it.
If you've already spent your money, you might as well enjoy the thing.
Listen, I'll be honest, and I don't want to take too much stage time or whatever from Darius, but I spent however much money I spent. let's just say $100 because I don't remember. Like I dropped like the initial like $30 or $40, $50 in like a few dollars a month for a year or two afterwards or whatever the fuck it was. But I started putting money into this game back in 2016, and by like 2018, I was like, all right, I'm fucking done. I can't play this shit. I was irritated. I was pissed off, and I finally came back one day. Random thought, like a month ago, I was like, well, let me see if Star Citizen will actually run on my computer. Blah 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 blah. And after a few tries, it actually fucking like I got to the point where I was like, if this one fucking time doesn't work, I'm done. I'm deleting everything again, and I'm walking away. We'll try again in another year or two. And it actually worked. It runs fairly well.
Nice. Good.
8 or 9 fucking years later, Chris. 8 or
Omar.
9 years later, Chris.
Omar.
So, Escape, if you remember him,
Yeah.
said that blah 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 so and so says that things are feature complete. It looks promising for 2026, baby.
Okay.
And I responded to him with, it may be feature complete, but you still have to. And then I linked him the song "Wait for It" from Hamilton.
Back to Darius, because I feel like we started and then we just kind of tangentialized way deep into another world.
Yeah.
Please, what else you got for us?
I mean, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was fun.
Excellent. Those are always good words to use, or good words to hear for feedback. It was good. It was fun. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely better than the alternative of it was not.
I wish I had gotten that requisition role, but
well, when you guys get to Task 5 and figure out what the fuck's going on there and stop it from happening, maybe you'll have a chance for more requisition roles. Acquisition roles, I should say.
Acquisition.
Rev.
Actually,
sorry.
Task 5, is that a higher or lower availability of items?
I will let you know that when I fully flesh out the system, because right now it's a name with a yellow star and a problem.
Oh.
I haven't fleshed out the system itself at all yet. I just know that there are things going on there. I haven't done a lot of the background.
Okay.
It's like, you know, when you do a conspiracy board and you're like, well, there's this thing here. I'm gonna pin it here. I'm gonna wrap some string around. I'm gonna run it down to here. There's a connection between these two, but I don't know what it is just yet. Anyway, but yeah. So it's literally a dot on the map with a special color for no particular reason, and there's a problem that I know more about than you do, obviously. But beyond that, there's not much else there yet. I have to flesh it all out for you. We call that prep.
We call that reasons.
Yeah, we call that I'm not creating this entire fucking universe and then playing it, because I will never get to play in it if I spend all my time world building. I am the guy that will do that too. I will spend all my time and energy in world building for weeks and then be like, all right, I don't want to play in that world anymore. I'm not even done building that world, but I don't want to play it anymore.
Hits burnout before he's even played
Exactly.
it.
I've done that so many times in my lifetime with stories I want to tell, books I want to write, and everything else. And it's just like, well, that went well. Rev, feedback outros. What do you got for us?
I was just pleased that Warner had a pun a la carte.
Wow. What a circle back. What a circling back. A backing of circles.
Well, no, it's more like a circling of the wagons.
See,
or carts, you might say.
I knew if I threw the seed on the ground, it would generate trees. That could then be cut into wagons that are circled.
I thank Jan Ziska for the Wagenburg.
Rev, do you have anything else? Because I'm ready to close it.
I don't think anybody else in the channel besides me knows who Jan Ziska is.
I don't. I'm sorry.
A famous Czech Hussite war hero.
Okay.
Who practically fought off the crusading Catholic powers of medieval Europe on his own in the very early gunpowder era.
With carts.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Interesting.
He is one of the few undefeated commanders in history.
Okay.
Who was then sort of stabbed in the back through internal politics.
Yes.
Et tu, Brute.
Great commanders are not always great politicians.
No, that's unfortunately. That's why Patton. Many people were like, Patton, you should be our president. No. Actually, I don't think he would have gotten it. I don't think he would have gotten it, but just because of how many bridges he buckled along the way. But anyway, that's a story for another time.
Instead, he was assassinated by communists.
Somehow that's still not surprising. Anyway, that is it for us here tonight. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please consider smashing all the buttons. Liking, subscribing, sharing, etc., etc. Commenting is also really cool. You can join us on our Discord. Come join the community of weird, somewhat intellectual, and very nerdy, geeky, dorky people with a variety of interests.
We're weird. It's fun.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's a good cross-section right there. At any rate, let's get out of here. Stay safe out there, my friends. This world is a grim, dark world, so make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. As for me and mine, we are out of here. See you next time. Have a good one.
Bye.